Hello, campers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers. Happy Wednesday, August 30th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. Happy to be back in action. 4 days in the Blue Mountain with the family. It was great. It was great. All good, relaxing, great. And we have an enormous football season ahead of us. Now, our guest today, Conor Mac, he is our star of our college football programming. He's deep into the gridiron. I'm not as deep. We have our first bankroll blitz on Tuesday, September 5th. So we are 6 days away from our first NFL show, and that's when I will get deep in. And it was not my finest preseason, 10-8 plus 1 unit, but I love betting preseason. And in the mistakes I made, like and the spots where we could have attacked harder. And I'm looking forward to do it again. But most importantly, I think I've gotten over the toll that this poor baseball season has taken on me, on my psyche, on my sleep patterns, on my back. And I've tried to focus my energy on the football. One great football season will make all the baseball struggles go away. Now, I have made 5 bets on today's baseball card, and I've spent a lot of time on it. And we have Conor Mac joining us, who's going to lead us to the cash and MLB, as he always does. So it's not like I'm just saying goodbye to baseball. There's still time. And my future action is strong. So everything's going to be okay. And I'm very excited to be back in action with you. I try so hard not to take this opportunity for granted. I'm so fucking thankful. It brings so much to my life having the opportunity to cap with you guys day in and day out. Justin McElvey in the house. Stacks play today is the Milwaukee Brewers. You know what I think of Woodruff and the anger I had for not backing him in his last start when he was spectacular against Darvish at home versus Padres. And I wanted to be on Woodruff. I know we have Justin McElvey on as part of the Stacks play of the day. I also found it was very strange. They were afraid to put the total out with the wind blowing in. They were afraid to put the total out. We were waiting for all these books to drop the total. No one was dropping the total. And then they finally dropped the total. It's very low. And then there was this massive move to the over 3.5 on the first 5. And that took me by surprise as well. Now, maybe that's just Kyle Hendricks' poor stats at home this year. But I did not move. There was 2 spots that I wanted to move on that I did not move on. And that was the Guardians Twins with Bybee, who's been so good against Gray, who gets his 3rd straight home start. All the books moved that to 7.5, except for Pinnacle. And Pinnacle had it at 7, but had moved it to 8, and 8 at a pick'em. I couldn't understand those 2 market moves, so I stayed off, waiting to talk it out with you guys. Reclaim James in the house. Atlanta, wake and bake. Mr. Vape says, fading Dylan Cease to start the day. Orioles first 5. Team total over 4.5. Orioles minus 1.5. Yes. Now, Dylan Cease does still... I mean, would it shock us if he put together a nice start? I mean, I guess judging by his last few starts, it probably would. I'm just on the Orioles minus 1 every day. I didn't take the Bradish minus 300 day. That's the lone one that I've stayed off at this point. But I'm with you. I'm on the Orioles minus 1. But it's me betting on the Orioles rather than fading Cease, even though he's looked awful. Gary Tenebra in the house. Serious business. Viper MB. Jeffrey Moore says Brewers made my card early this morning after that 1-0 game last night. Well, I should have that copied and pasted right below Justin McElvey then, so we can discuss. There we go. Rocco Rogers and now Collins Clip says poker night. Yes, our final poker night, and I'm gonna miss it, man. And if we can keep building, strong entries, then we can keep doing it. But shout out to our friend Tim Earl. He's a class act and a great guy to cap with. He won last week. He won $462 for being in first. He won entry into the Sunday Showdown, $109 Sunday Showdown. And he also won entry into our NFL Cappers contest. So, that's about $671 worth of prizes. And shout out to Peter Loshak. I watched a bit of that tournament while drinking at Blue Mountain. I watched Peter's table. He was the chip leader at one point. in the Sunday Showdown. And he got to the cash. He was our lone guy to make money off of that tournament. Shout out to our friend Peter Loshak in that great show he did yesterday from the Bahamas. What a magical man that Peter Loshak is. What a magical man he is. Professor Chris, Nasty Nate, Billy Friedrich, Mike M, Troy Torrance says it's football weather in Chi-Town today. Chi-Town in the house says can barely contain my excitement. Troy, I'm so excited to work with you this year. Really excited, man. I don't remember feeling quite this excited about football before. I mean, you're always excited about football season coming, but this feels a little different. Just feels like after a tough year, there's just a little more on the line. And we were so successful last year. I just, so badly want to carry it over. Jeffrey Moore, 3-0 day yesterday. Jay Smooth, who I got the pleasure of hanging out with in San Antonio. Lucas Ryan in the house. And Jeffrey Moore says Brewers going to smash today. So we will break all that down. There's Ixnizzle in the house. My guy from the land. Ixnizzle, 420. Lucas Ryan, Gary Tenebra. Slatsy, 45, says Orioles keep bringing us the glory. Don't they, Slatsy? There's just such a professional outfit. I mean, it just feels like there's no letdown days. I mean, the Rockies series was a tricky series in the dog days of summer. I mean, just it's still... they won 5-4 and lose one game, but you can just count on them. I got them last night live at plus 100 in the 6th inning when runners were on the White Sox had runners on first and second with no out. I'm starting to try to find those spots where I don't trust the opposition's offense and they've got runners on with less than 2 outs to live bet the other side. Got plus 100. It's fucking magical. It quickly went to minus 4,000, like within 20 minutes. Sammy Calmer, Fly White Mike, Brandon the Great, Rocco. What a group. What a group. Slow Jams Arsenal, Reclaim, James, Nate Cerna says, bring in Sweet T-Tits. We can't. Sweet T-Tits is in Tennessee. He's in Tennessee on vacation, a well-deserved vacation. And so Sweet T-Tits will not be back. He will not be back, in fact, until... next Tuesday for Bankroll Blitz. That's when he will return. He may be here for that morning show of Loshak in the Bag. I'm not entirely sure. Markel, Let's Dance. Ready to get to work. Steve G. Jake Burns. Alive, scratching in the house. The Nuke Worker says this just in. The Jays are not making the playoffs. Look, I've got friends and colleagues who have futures on them, and they're just, you watch them every day. If you watch them every day, you can't have any faith in them. So this is the first year I've had futures on them since, God, I don't know how far we go back, 2015. But yeah, they're a disappointment. Now Chapman's out, Bichette's out. Do you still trust their numbers as lefties? We'll have to ask C-Mac about that. But now 3.5 games out of the wild card. Troy Torrance says he's been on a tear the past 5 days, up 17.66 units in MLB. There's subhuman gaucho. Viper NB action in Philly -1, Baltimore -1, and he's on the Jays. He's on the Jays against the Nats here. Let me copy and paste Viper's action. Professor Chris says, as much money as the O's have made me this year, be careful. The market seems to be catching up. That being said, I'm on him today. I love it. I love it. Sammy Comer calling John Schneider a clown. Yeah, it's tough, man. Nasty Nate on the Orioles' first 5. It's a great, great group. I'm so thankful to be here rocking with you guys. Live scratching, Vol Nation. Respect to the great people. See? Respect. BT in the house. Harold Williams, Philly Backwoods. Brandon Cummings. It's great to see you, my friend. Dabra Cadabra on the Rangers team total over 4.5, and he's leaning towards the Rays team total over 3.5. Dabby Cab will be with me tomorrow, capping the card with me. Benjamin Mills says steal for Cy Young. What a great, great group. Darren Turner ready to get to work. There's Clint, star of the Die Hard MMA podcast. Ronnie and Burger says, I'm thinking the same thing with the Brewers. Was on the Cubs last night. Thought all those runners left on base were eventually going to bite them in the ass. Joey Marinaccio, TNT in the house. Thank you guys all for joining us. Let's get to work. I'm very excited for every opportunity I have to cap with this next gentleman. And he's going to, as he's always, a huge part of our college football programming. So as we move into football, move away from baseball, I'm going to change up the schedule of the guests on this show because I would like C-Mac on Thursday or Friday or Tuesdays, because when the Mac action is popping up for earlier in the week. But I would like him on days where we have college football. Now, tomorrow we got Dabby Cap for college football and for MLB, of course. And then Friday we got Bobano. So we're locked up this week. But moving forward, I don't think Wednesday is the best possible use of our next guest. And I love working with him. So please, without further ado, from Las Vegas, Nevada, please welcome Conor Mac to the show. What up, C-Mac? How are you?
I'm good. What's going on, Timmy? Shout out to the chat, everyone here. Yeah, football coming. Might have to switch up the days here, Tuesday or Thursday, and get in it.
Yeah, we do that every year too. So we need to make best possible use of our college football cappers here. So we're going to do that. Steve G says baseball isn't relevant until October. Well, I can tell you that it ruined my summer. Steve G, if that's any relevance for you, it can ruin my summer. We have passed the 8-minute mark. I have found out that the 8-minute mark is, in fact, a reality here. So I do my best to keep it clean for 8 minutes. If not, they do shut down our opportunity to advertise, unfortunately. C-Mac, you are going to be in the poker night tonight, my friend. Is that right?
Yes, I will be. Third time, hopefully, a charm. These, I'm a bit bigger if I play poker cash game, but I think these tourneys are fun, especially if we get the turnout we do. Mm-hmm. If we can get around 75, I think that's solid. At least 60 and maybe the rebuys to get to 75.
I agree. I like cash games more as well. I want all the money to be up for grabs every hand. But yes. I would love to up the stakes a little bit. And we can all talk about that if we want to do that. Just a little bit.
Me too.
$50.
50?
Get it to there. I would love that. But that hasn't been received so well every time I pitch it. So
I'm in. But yeah.
I just want I just like stakes. I want always the stakes to raise. That's why when you play fucking cornhole or bocce or whatever, you say, hey, let's put $50 on this. That's why when people golf, they bet every hole. You want to raise the stakes, raise the stakes.
And $25 attorney can, the stakes I think are a little low, but fun, I do have to say.
You
get a little wild early. People just go crazy because it's not your real,
and you only get 45 minutes. So it's important because that's anytime if you only have half your big blinds left after 15 or 20 minutes, 25, 30 minutes, you have to worry about making sure that you have at least 75, or I guess not 75 big blinds by then, but 50 big blinds to start the fourth. But we'll get into all of that. We'll get into all of that here as well. It is great to have all you guys. We have a huge day of MLB action. We have afternoon action to bring us through. Kirk Gray also on the Brewers money line. Thank you guys all for joining us. Brandon Cummings looking at Altuve and Benintendi to get a hit parlay -102 at FanDuel. Love to hear you guys answer our friend Brandon Cummings. A great guy. All right. Lucas Ryan says we need a Midwest meetup. Troy, I'd love that. I would love a Midwest meetup. And that, Schnizzle tried to put one together for the Ohio Derby. And I thought it was a great idea. And also, Chicago is such a great city. So we're going to make this happen. Dab Fence says Adley Rutschman, day off. McKenna having great series against White Sox out. Austin Hayes out. Says might be off the O's today. We will have all of that up. We have all the lineups up as well. The thing about this Orioles lineup to me, and when you go through their OPSs and everything, these guys are as deep as the ocean. When I look at this lineup and I'm like, God damn, this is a great lineup. Westberg's playing really good baseball right now. Batting seventh, playing second. Now you look, maybe you don't want Adam Frazier batting sixth, but we'll get into all of that. I have no concern here about Rutschman getting the day off, but that's not our first game here. Also, for those of you watching on the replay later in the day, I will. What's the word? What am I looking for? When I put the times on.
Timestamp.
Timestamp. Thank you. I will timestamp everything as soon as the show's over. So the timestamp will be the first comment there from me. We don't have graphics. We won't have graphics this week as Jose is in sweet Tennessee.
Also,
Yeah.
speaking of timestamps, we'll try to go forward. We got a couple of comments. The College Football Show. We'll timestamp that too. I mean, we break up the games and they're out individual, but we got a couple of comments on the timestamp.
But we have the graphics of the games underneath, right?
Yes, we did. Yeah. Oh yeah. So I know.
I think that you can pretty much skim through, especially if you go chronologically.
I know. I agree.
Okay, so I don't think you guys.
That's up to Jose. Yeah,
I don't think you guys need to do shit. I don't think you guys need to do shit. Okay, let's get to work though, and but if they want it, we can give it to them. Andrew says saves a lot of time on the rewatch, but if we have the graphics underneath, you can just kind of skip along. We know we go chronologically, but I feel you. All right, let's get to work here. We start at 1:05 p.m. Eastern. Los Angeles Angels 63-70, 31-37 on the road at the Philadelphia Phillies 74-58, 41-25 at home. Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It's funny, Razor and I were talking about how Razor had futures on my team and I have futures on his team. I have liked this Philadelphia Phillies team all year. I got in when they were like 5 or 6 games under 500, and because of the Braves being such a powerhouse, it didn't matter. I could have got in a week ago. It didn't help me, my numbers at all. And I was sitting here, look, I don't know when Reed Detmers is going to shove. I don't. He's one of he'll have 7 earned runs, 6 earned runs, and then almost throw a no. But the Philadelphia Phillies are hitting 280 with an 888 OPS against lefties in August.
Right. Yep.
And Christopher Sanchez, who I know that maybe we don't have a ton of faith in him, but he sort of feels like last year's Ranger Suarez. He's throwing 3 straight quality starts. And I know that there's a lot of legitimate concern about how good he is. And I get it. But this was my final bet. And I only made it maybe an hour ago where I was like, look, I have to put my foot on the throat of the Angels who are giving up, even though I don't know when Reed Detmers is going to shove. That's what it came down to. I'm on Phillies -1. There's Rube Boy in the house. Tone Miggins with a parlay. I must copy and paste that. Yes, Nasty Nate, my mom is signed up for the poker tournament. I should have mentioned that off the top. She has missed the first 2, but she's here for this one. Dr. Saucy. My mom is in there, and maybe we'll discuss if there should be. I don't want to put pressure on her and have a bounty on her because people try to knock out people a little more when there's a bounty on their head, and I don't want that. She's a good poker player. But yes, my mom will be in the tournament tonight. Ronnie and Bergie on Phillies money line. Toe Miggins going Phillies, Orioles, and St. Louis. Team total for 7 over 3.5 plus 218 parlay. We've already heard Viper MB also on this Phillies -1. So let's get to work here and set it up for CMAC. We'll start with the weather in Philadelphia. 85 Fahrenheit, 8.6 miles per hour left to right, very slightly in. Then we'll move over to Ballpark Pal and see what their feelings are here. And we have Citizens Bank Park plus 22% home runs, minus 8% doubles and triples, plus 7% singles, plus 10% runs, plus 10% runs. Let's go into the line history then and the cash flow as well. Line history wise, I'll make sure this is full game. We're sitting at minus 168 at Pinnacle. It's minus 170 at Will Hill. There has been some buyback in the last little bit. Did it move off of the minus 180 at Bet365? That unfortunately, no, it did. Damn, I could have got a better line had I waited. Fuck, man, I just.
What'd you get?
I got an ugly line. I got minus 130, minus 180, and plus 115. If I bet it right now, I get minus 165 and plus 120. I get a much, much better line. God damn it. I guess let's just go over these lineups and see if that was the reason. Schwarber, Turner, Harper, Castellanos, Stott, Bohm, Marsh, Rojas, and Stubbs. Chanel in first base, Rengifo, Otani, Drury, Grichuk. So does that mean that Grichuk and Renfroe weren't picked up on the waiver wire? I thought all those guys were put on the waiver wire yesterday. Grichuk and Renfroe.
Were they? I didn't see that.
I read an article that said all of them had been put on it. Giolito, all of them, 6 guys I'd read were put on. I don't know if anybody can help us with that as well. Rocco Ryder says he got it too. Real Muto and Sosa are out. Okay, so then let's roll into Sorry, so that's the line history. So there's been a move back. Now there still has been a 6 cent move to the Phillies, but I really messed this up. That was a poor timing on my part. From a total scenario, get this up here quickly. Sorry, I'll have this set up a little better for game 2. We're sitting at a 9 at Pinnacle. This opened up at 9.5 everywhere. I believe everywhere. Yes, everywhere. It opened up at 9.5, minus 109 to the under at 5:44 p.m. At 12:20, around midnight, it moved to 9. So we have a move to the under and a very slight move now to the Baltimore Orioles. Cash flow wise, we have 93% of the tickets, 91% cash on the Phillies. It makes me nervous. I would never make this bet 2 months ago, but do we put our foot on the throat of the Angels? That's the question. 63% of tickets, 66% cash is on the under. So here we go. Reed Detmers, 3-10, 5.03 ERA, 1.38 WHIP. Last start, 5 innings, he allowed 4 earned runs, 7-3 loss at home versus Reds. That was off the 7.5 innings of no-hit ball from his last start. He's been bad on the road all year. 1-6, 5.69 ERA, 47 Ks to 24 walks. Not the K to walk ratio he would like. And then you have Christopher Sanchez. As I said, 3 straight quality starts. His last start was a home start, so he's got consecutive home starts now. He went 6 innings. He allowed just 2 runs against the Cardinals. At home, 4.20 ERA, 245 opponents batting average. He's been better on the road. But the Angels aren't hitting lefties at all. 221, 596 OPS since August 1st. The Angels' bullpen's been a train wreck, 6.12 ERA in August compared to the Phillies' bullpen that's been very sharp, 3.10 ERA. So here we go. I moved on the Phillies -1. I look like an ass clown for when I bet it. That -165 and +120 is much, 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 much more appealing. Let's hear what C-Mac has to say about the first game on the board. Pops off in 1 hour and 40 minutes. Angels, Phillies.
I agree with you here. The Phillies, last year they made that run like you talked about, and the bats are coming through. Hitting is contagious, and to see Harper start to get that power. Castellanos has been very good. Even Trey Turner, who's been horrible all year long, the last 2 or 3 weeks has been very good. And you mentioned Sanchez. I thought, those last couple starts, if he could just go 5, and it seems like he gives up a couple runs. It seems like the last 3 or 4 starts. Reed Detmers here. I just want to fade him too here. Jimmy. And I have a little bit of horror from 2 weeks ago. I sat all day with him getting shelled, and he goes against the Rangers. And that was the start of the Rangers' kind of downfall, was 2 weeks ago. And Reed Detmers just shut him down. But he still has an over 5 ERA on the road. And this is Phillies or nothing here for me. I don't know if I want to go run line. You talked about how bad the Angels' bullpen's been, or this first 5 -0.5. But you got to be on the Phillies. I think the Angels have just kind of closed up shop.
So Vital's saying that Giolito, Matt Moore, Ronaldo Lopez, Hunter Renfroe, Randall Grichuk on waivers, but 2 of them are in the lineup today.
They're in the lineup, yeah.
So I guess they were just I don't know how that works. I guess they were just not claimed. But who wouldn't want? Because if you claim them by Friday, they can be on your postseason roster. You'd think people would want to add some depth, and guys, especially Renfroe, with his ability to hit the long ball. Dolo in the house. There is DC Capper joining us as well. Brandon Cummings likes Phillies to lead after 6 innings, -114 on FanDuel. I guess, for me, though, look at the advantages, which is why I finally pulled the trigger on a very public play. One, the bullpen. At this point in August, the Phillies bullpen's allowing 3 runs less over 9 innings than the Angels bullpen. And the Phillies are smashing lefties, and the Angels are doing nothing against lefties. Oh, Benjamin Mills says waiver claims go Thursday. Okay, thank you, Benjamin. That helps. So they can still play now. Okay, thank you, Benjamin. All right, so C-Mac, are you getting on the board on our first game here?
I'm going to come back to this one.
All right.
If I jump on it.
You have lots of time, so let's go. Billy Freeder says there was some money loophole. Says if these guys aren't claimed, then the original club gets stuck with their salary. Those teams can still dump those players after the waiver process. Yeah, I know that part. I just thought that I imagined that Renfroe and Grichuk would be claimed immediately. And Benjamin Mills saying it's 48 hours. Okay, thank you guys. Some clarity now. And Brandon the Great is on the first 3 under 2.5 in this game. Okay, so let's move on. Next up for us, 1:05 p.m. Eastern, Chicago White Sox, Baltimore Orioles. I try to get this bet in as early as possible, and I was a little late yesterday getting the Orioles -1 in. And then while I was betting it, it moved from -160 to -165 on the money line. I'm on the -1 line, -118 for the Baltimore Orioles. A lot of talk about, wanting Adley Rutschman behind the plate. I agree. It sucks not having him in the lineup, but Gunnar Henderson, who's not been great of late, batting leadoff, then Santander, Mountcastle, O'Hearn, Mullins, Frazier, Westberg, McCann, Mateo. Look, I like it. This team is so deep. It's so professional. They just keep coming at you. If they're down 10-1, they take their at-bats seriously. There's very few errors. I know Gunnar made a costly one a couple days ago, but there's very few errors. There's no base running mistakes. I don't know how everybody's just not in love with the Orioles. Low payroll. They keep their manager instead of ditching him as soon as they're good, which so many teams do. I just love this baseball team, and they've helped me out very much here. Let's take a look at the spot here. Camden yards. Orioles just 42-25 at home. Not quite the home record that one would expect from a team that is leading all of Major League Baseball. All of Major League Baseball right now. Although the Dodgers are now 1 game back. What a baseball team they are. There's the Fowlish Hound. That's what we need. We need the Fowlish Hound to come in and bless our action. It's great to see you. Fowlish Hound in the house.
Yes,
a big
Hound.
part of all of our Medicate Monday shows, all of our daily sesh shows, and those edibles that they have are spectacular
Yes.
edibles as well. She's a big part of our fam, and we love her.
I want to get that hot sauce. I gotta get it.
Oh, I'd be down.
Cab says it's really good.
Oh man, I was so many edibles I was on over this 4-day trip.
Really? You took a bunch of edibles?
Oh yeah, sitting there, like all day with this huge grin on my face. Yeah, it was wonderful. Okay, Billy Friedrich says for the O's, it's still all about player development. And there is Cuban Wayne Gretzky saying 1 more month till hockey. I'm very, very excited about that. And JPZ vouching for the hot sauce. Oh, I'm in.
Beautiful.
I'm in.
I have to get it then.
I'm in. All right, let's talk about the weather here first and foremost in Baltimore. 86 Fahrenheit. 10.1 miles per hour left to right, slightly in from stays between 10.1 and 9.8 miles per hour. Almost the exact same weather, no surprise, as in Philadelphia. Let's move over to the ballpark pal and see what their expectations are of Charm City Oriole Park. Minus 12% home runs and minus 3% overall runs, plus 1% doubles and triples. Interesting. So let's go into the line history then for Cease versus Kyle Gibson. What a pro Gibson is too. Did you know this, C-Mac? I didn't know this. I don't know how I missed it, but the Jays and the Orioles offered Kyle Gibson the exact same contract. And he made the right choice. He picked the Orioles.
Oh, yeah, he did.
I guess he didn't want to play in Canada as well. From a total side point, this opened up at 9, moved to 8.5 at 10:13 this morning. A sign that Cease is going to show something. In that last start that Cease had, I was thinking of our friend Billy Friedrich. He was on the White Sox first 5 minutes half, and he was like, if Cease fucks this up, I'm never going to put a cent again on my White Sox. Right? And then he allowed 9 runs, 8 earned, and 4 1/3. I don't mean to laugh, but it's your worst case scenario. Your team that you love, you keep this pitcher who we have such high hopes for, and then he ganks you right in the old bottom mouth. And my heart went out to Billy Friedrich to watch Cease fuck up so badly. And it's one of those things where now is Cease going to shove as soon as you fade him? Is he going to, if he's got your number? This moved up to minus 186 at 10:13 a.m. We're back to minus 172. We still have 14 cents of movement towards the Baltimore Orioles. We talked about the line going from 9 to 8.5. So let's take a look at the cash flow here. And Troy Torrance says, looking to live bet the O's. They're the best live bet in the business, man. They're the best. They're such a professional baseball team. It doesn't matter if they're down 1-0 in the 6th inning. You know they're going to get you. You know they're going to keep having their quality at bats are going to come. 91% of the tickets and 60% of the cash on the Orioles. A spot I would never bet them, but that's been constant throughout this run. The Orioles have been on that. The sharp actions on the other side. 9% of the tickets, 40% of cash on the White Sox. 27% of tickets, 31% cash on the under. And yet it's gone to 9 from 9 to 8.5. There is my guy Millsy in the house. Great to see you. Billy Fraser says the worst case scenario was last Friday night versus A's at home. 2 women in the outfield stands shot during the 3rd inning. Jesus. How did I miss that? I missed that. Oh, I guess I was driving to Blue Mountain. Jesus. Well, that's Chirac for you, but I did not. Oh, wait. Yeah, that was there at home. Jesus, I did not know about that. Londo, great to see you, my man. God, that's fucked up, man. Jesus, Billy, I did not know that. I thought the worst case scenario was Cease pitching poorly. But you're right. Gifted Cartel in the house. What up, Gifted Cartel? Okay, so Cease on the road, 5.18 ERA. He's just been bad. But look at K to walks. In 64 in the 30, he's got 85 strikeouts, 26 walks. This is a great K to walk. He's only allowed 7 home runs and 64 in the 3rd on the road. Going up against Kyle Gibson, very professional performance in that 5-3 win at home over the Jays last out. 8 innings. He allowed 3 earned runs, 8 Ks, 1 homer. He's not been very good at home, 5.09 ERA. He's only allowed 6 home runs over 63 and 2/3. White Sox are not hitting righties, 248, 677 OPS. Orioles versus righties, 282, 773 OPS. This Orioles bullpen, I know Batista's hurt, but God, are they so good. When Colomb came in with 2 runners on, I had so much confidence in him. They have 2.61 ERA since August 1st. White Sox bullpen ERA, 5.65 ERA. Take it away for us, C-Mac. And I'd love if you could touch on this move from 9 to 8.5 when the money's on the over. What are your expectations of Cease and Gibson? But take it away, my man. White Sox, Orioles.
Yeah, I was talking about this last night. I think Cease might pitch well here. We went at 9, and then we see all 8.5s. Because I looked up a bunch of stuff because I'm thinking, does this guy have an arm problem? He says he's fine. He's just gotten lit up lately. So I think he could pitch well, and that's where I was looking at was the under. But I can't go away from the Orioles. I've been on them. It's just tough for me here now to jump off the bandwagon. I've been on every single day. He's had some decent starts. He's got hit a little bit against the O's in the past. Gibson's just kind of been solid. This guy's go out there 5-6 innings. He gives up a couple runs, innings eater. Rutschman, normal day off. I mean, to me, I just worry Cease might pitch well, but to me, it's O's or nothing here again.
Yeah, I agree. It does. I don't know. Look, if I was betting solely on the market, I would definitely take the under here. But how and we see these elite pitchers not have 3 bad starts in a row. We see it, all the time. Do we still consider Cease an elite pitcher? I mean, that's up for debate. But here, let's just look at Cease's last few starts. A guy we know has very good stuff on a bad baseball team. So in the last 2 starts, he's allowed 12 earned runs over 9 innings. And that's against the A's and the Rockies. But if you look at the 2 starts before that, he went 12 in the 3rd, only allowing 2 earned runs. Then you go to a start before that, he allowed 7 earned runs against the Rangers over 1 2/3. I mean, I'm not at a point right now with my bankroll, especially going into football season, where I can just fire away because the market indicates it's the right move, which is what it's doing. The market's indicating that this is going to go under the 8.5. Then if we don't trust the White Sox bullpen, which is completely valid, I felt bad for anybody who had the under last night. They deserve to cash that under, but the Phillies, but the White Sox bullpen is so bad that they don't do it. So then I wonder, should we move on to first 5 under with Gibson and Cease? Fuck, I can't do it. I can't do it. Is there and Billy cashed the over? I'm glad you cashed it, Billy. Troy Torrance's database says 14-5 to the over. I'm not even going to look up the first 5. There's a lot of great spots here. I've got the Orioles -1, and that's basically enough for me. Do you want to move here on anything, C-Mac?
I might go live. If not, I'm going to take this run line, and I'll let you know because I still have to get my bet in these morning games.
Jesus, look at this Vitalis with some inside info here. That is a wild story. Oh my god. It was the jelly.
Wow.
All right. Philly Backwoods says White Sox spot, but I don't trust them past. Okay, yeah, let's move on. Let's move on. MacMan BD says he is banned under bets for the rest of the season. You know, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating because I've doubled up on an under and I destroyed the market move. But my ROI on that is not where I want it to be. Nice day, Londo. All right, let's roll on. Of course, Cuba Wayne Gretzky asking about home run props. C-Mac, are you doing Walking Dead today as well?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I will be there. So check out Walking Dead.
Yeah,
we got some yesterday. Harper, Will Smith came through. He should have had another one early, but yeah, shout out to Nate. I saw his shit earlier.
Dope. So our guy C-Mac will be live with The Walking Dead, so the home run props will come on that show.
Yeah.
Raymond Reichart says everyone and their mother on Baltimore makes me nervous. You know how many people have said that to me on this run that they've been on? Everybody on them today. This is not a team that... Look, the Rays are breathing down their neck. 2.5 games up. The Rays keep winning. And these are the teams that the Orioles must defeat. But all right, let's move on. So those are the first two MLB games. We have another one at 1:10 p.m. Then we get into 2 o'clock action. These games will start. They will start when we're still on, I imagine. So we'll maybe be able to live bet some of them, and the Orioles are the best live bet in the business. Dad fan says, don't like Rutschman, Hayes, McKenna out with the great series they were all having, but I still like the over with White Sox O's. And the spreadsheet play of the day is in from our Ron Crawford is the San Francisco Giants -1 at -118.
I think that's a good bet.
So here, that's the double up on the under. I bet it last night. I got under 8 at -115, under 4 at -110. Last I looked, it was 7.5 at -115 and 3.5 at +100 to the under. We'll see what it is now, but I can understand people being very frustrated with these unders. All right, let's roll.
Came through last night. I had it. I didn't think it was Giants Reds under.
Oh yeah, no, it was a beauty spot. Well, that makes me nervous too. Now I've got a whole plan around why I'm betting the under, and we'll get into that.
We'll get to it.
But the big booty Latina play today is the over 7 in Milwaukee, Chicago. This is a very... I wanted to bet the under in this one, but the market made me very nervous. Very nervous. Pinnacle moving it to 8, and we'll go over that one. But let's move on to the next 1 p.m. game. 1:10 p.m. Cleveland Guardians 63-70, 30-37 on the road at the Minnesota Twins, 69-64, 40-28 at home. We're at Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Tanner Bybee versus Sonny Gray. Everything here shapes up for me to trust these pitchers. Everything. And yet the market did not, and I do want things to correlate as much as possible. And I feel like I've let it go a little bit this year, and it's not helped me. I guess it has with the Orioles. Let's talk about this spot. We'll talk about the weather here in Minnesota. 72 Fahrenheit, 6.6 miles per hour, right to left and in, between 6.6 and 5.9 miles per hour. And we have Target Field -22% home runs, +8% doubles and triples, -2% runs overall. The pimp slap play of the day is in. There's my guy, Mike M. What a great job he has done for us the last few days, covering for me on Monday Night Live. What a job he did. First 5 under 4. You know, I love the bet. The bet makes a ton of sense. We also have a that's first 4 under 4.5. Jesus, I missed that. I can't even bet first for us. Interested. Very, very.
I think he means first 5. It's got to be first.
Well, it can't be 4.5 though. Oh yeah,
first 5 could be a 4.5. It'd just be juiced.
Has it moved all the way up to 4? Oh, I was thinking of the. Okay, well we'll.
There's a couple places I see it have it.
Okay, so first 5 under 4.5. Thank you, Mikey, my man. Bybee. I was in my head. I was thinking about the Cubs game and how low that total is. But Bybee Gray here in Target Field. Let's take a look at the line history here. Why don't we? Well, we'll start with the money line, full game money line. The Twins sitting at minus 157. They opened up at minus 155, so no movement at all there, none. Let's move on to totals here with this one. And while all these other books were at 7.5, Pinnacle moved up to 8. They moved it up to 8 at 7 this morning, and that 8 got pounded. 11 cents of movement to the over 8 between 7:02 and 8:04. And that just really caught me by surprise. Then buyback, but it's still sitting at 8 at a pick 'em. And I couldn't explain why that was. Bybee has been excellent this year. 10-3, 3.01 ERA, 1.20 whip. He's had some struggles on the road, 3.94 ERA, or I shouldn't say struggles, but he's been worse on the road than he's been at home. But he's been very good on the road of late. That last start was a thing of beauty at Toronto. 5-2 win, 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks, 1 walk. I know that the Jays aren't hitting that much. And then you have Sonny Gray coming off a spectacular start at home versus the Rangers in his last start, 7 innings, 1 earned run, solo shot. This is his 3rd straight home start, so he's got his routine in place. 3.06 ERA, 1.19 whip on the year. He's been excellent. At home, 3.05 ERA, 233 opponents batting average. He's allowed just 3 home runs over 76 and 2/3. Ixnazel shouting out Tone Miggins with the big catchers on the last sweat. Tone Miggins is a monster. He's just such a great capper. Guardians versus righties, 251, 716 since August 1st. Twins versus righties, 247, 783. Guardians bullpen, 3.22 ERA. It's been much better. If it didn't fall apart in July, maybe they'd be closer in this race, but hard to trust them here. They were lucky yesterday after Gavin Williams gets hurt after an inning. It's a knee issue, so we don't know what's going on there. And you could say the Guardians had given up at the trade deadline when they let Savali go to the Rays, and now their bullpen was taxed yesterday. So it's very difficult to like the Guardians and Minnesota Twins. And the last thing we need to look at is the cash flow, and maybe this will figure out 78% of the tickets and 92% of cash on the under. And yet Pinnacle, the sharpest book out there, moves it to 8. And when it moves to 8, it moves 14 cents or 12 cents. Sorry, it was 12 cents plus 10. Maybe it was just 11 cents plus 102 to minus 109. Because I can't explain that, I couldn't bet it. 42% of the tickets, 59% of cash on the Guardians, expecting another nice start from Bybee. And Mike M says, Sonny, after a quality start, allowing at least 1 home run, is 0-8 to the under by margin of 3 runs. Wow. Philly Backwoods looking at the Nerfy. Gifted Cartel says Gray 6.5 with 3.66 ERA, 17 career starts against Cleveland. 2 starts versus Guardians this year, 0-1 with a 4.63 ERA. Take it away for us here, C-Mac. A fascinating one from a capping perspective. Bybee, Gray, Guardians, Twins.
Yeah, I like this game. I liked it yesterday, and I'm going back to it here with the Guardians. I like Bybee here on the road. I think this line's just way too high between these two teams, and they're not very good. But the Guardians consistently over the last couple of years have hit Sonny Gray. They're at 280 off him, and they've consistently been able to get 3 runs off him. I think they can do that here again. So I'm on the Guardians first 5. I think plus 140 is the best line that we could get, and I do like this under, but I'd go full game, and I don't know if I'm gonna roll with it yet.
Very interesting look. Implied probability makes perfect sense for this spot. Guardians first 5 for C-Mac. Did you think about putting the plus a half in front of it if we think there's going to be lower volatility?
No.
Plus 140 at Will Hill.
I've thought of that a little bit on like when it's gotten to 180 or higher, because I don't do too much of that. I'll take the push, but a little bit lately I thought if I get like 180 or higher on these first 5, I'll take the half because you'll get the casher on a push, but not here.
Well, I take the plus a half when I don't necessarily need to. And I tell myself that if I didn't have the opportunity to plus a half at plus money, maybe I wouldn't have made the bet. And that's the only thing just to make me, feel better about not having the balls to take them. But I've done it today, first 3 plus a half on a big dog. And I'm going to study, of course, as we should all do, go over my numbers and exactly what worked and what was blowing up my face. And I've done that a bit, but I really want to go over the first 3s and see exactly on their own spreadsheet what they did for me, because I'm a little nervous about it. Leonard Portuguese says, welcome back to me. Our boy Mike M did a great job filling in. Yeah, Mike M is money in the bank. Okay, so C-Mac, Guardians, first 5 at plus 140. Could you beat that anywhere, by the way?
I think that's his. I don't think I get over that.
I got Will Hill and a bunch of different books, plus 140. The pimp slap play of the day, Minnesota first 5 under 4.5 from Mikey M. And that concludes our 1:10 p.m. action. So, and 105. So I'm on the Phillies -1. I didn't get a good line. I'm on the Orioles -1. It looked like I was going to get a good line, but when the Orioles lineup came out missing some pieces, it's still a little better than what's available now. And then C-Mac is on the Guardians first 5 at plus 140. And the pimp slap play today is Minnesota first 5 under 4.5. All right, let's move on. 2:15 p.m. Eastern. And our guy, 1777 says, Padres versus Cardinals, battle of the pitchers. Ron Crawford says collab on Minnesota. Is that a Mike M. Ron Crawford collab? I'd love to know if it is. Padres versus Cardinals, Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. The Padres are 9 games under 500. There's our guy, Arthur Meade Jr. Thank you so much for the $5 dono. You are a great friend of our channel. It means a ton to us. Thank you, my friend. Love capping with our Arthur Meade Jr. Slow Jams Arsenal says Redbirds are nothing. Padres continue to be a big disappointment. 9 games. Can you believe we're sitting here and the Padres are 9 games under 500 and the Cardinals are 19 games under 500? I mean, it's just nuts, absolutely nuts. And Chase White says Guardians are at plus 145 at Stations Casino. Let's give that to C-Mac. Billy Friedrich says Padres have lost all of Rich Hill's starts with the team. I don't know how we don't fade Rich Hill here. I don't. But I did want to talk it out with everybody here. Browns Hughes, by the way, he's all over the Indians. First 5 under 4, minus 105. Shout out to our guy Browns Hughes. As we talked about with our poker tournament, the winner got Tim Earl got $462 in his account for winning, not including the tickets and all that stuff. But there's also bounties. A $50 bounty on the head of Jeff Slaughter and a $25 bounty on the head of myself. And Browns Hughes won it, and he was lucky enough to come from the great country of America. So that was $34 Canadian that I had to send.
Damn, sniped you.
Okay, Busch Stadium. K Wolf, he's from Quebec. I only had to send him $25 Canadian. Rich Hill, Miles, Michaelis here. Let's go into the weather to start in St. Louis. 78 Fahrenheit, 8.7 miles per hour in. It's between 8.7 and 9.8 miles per hour. Oh, Chase White says it moved to minus 140. Or sorry, to 140. Okay. We'll just keep it at that plus 140. Yeah. Okay. Then we have the ballpark pal situation. Oh, he says right as I placed the bet. That's annoying. But it was the market, the best market we could find was at plus 140. Busch Stadium minus 16%. Now, what do you do with these stats? All of this, I was like, man, let's just talk it out with the squad here. Minus 16% home runs, minus 7% doubles and triples, minus 11% runs. The second lowest expected offensive output from Ballpark Pal. So we have these two. Miles Michaelis looks young beside 43-year-old Rich Hill, but Michaelis, I think he's 35 years old. I mean, these are two. Rich Hill, I don't think we see him next year. Maybe somewhere in the independent league.
Maybe.
The Winnipeg Gold Eyes. What are they called? I don't know what the hell they're called. Ronnie and Burgess, it's hard to believe how bad Padres are. Got to be a horrible clubhouse. It's hard to believe Melvin has not had an impact. He says those days clubhouses were dynamic. Absolutely. Rodney Barton saying if anyone wants a soccer game parlay for tonight, Messi to score a goal, both teams to score Miami FC moneyline plus 670. Professor Chris says, I think Rich Hill has been in Major League Baseball since 05. Vital says Dick Hill looks spent. Every time he stands on attention on the mound, Cardinals are stacking right-handed bats against him. 1777 says, Padres need a more aggressive manager, steal some bases, bunt some runners with runners in scoring position. Melvin's going to be gone next year. Rocco Wright says this game is 1-800 gambler. When people say that, look, if I was worried about 1-800-GAMBLER, I mean, I'm sure they'd be on speed dial here at the home. Look, we all have an itch, a fucking itch that is only scratched when we gamble. So, yeah, we all need a 1-800-GAMBLER, and I'm proud of it. And I'm proud that all my friends need someone to call 1-800-GAMBLER on them. All right. So, Rich Hill, Miles, Michaelis, let's move into the line history here for this one. I got first 5 up, so sorry, let me just quickly move into full game. Like, you should see me on the trip, man. On this fucking trip. I was getting yelled at for, put the phone away. But then, the first night, I get to
get the phone
alone at midnight, and I'm like immediately hammering every horse race available, moving into the Aussie races up at 3 a.m, sweating these things out. Look, remember we talked about it. Like, if I lived all alone, now look, I love having kids and being a family. I always want to be a family, but if I lived all alone with great Wi-Fi and a stocked liquor cabinet, I'm good.
You're set.
I'm good. Okay, Michaelis and the Cards sitting at minus 104. They open up minus 105. So there's been no movement on the side. From a total perspective here. Oh, sorry. It's taking a second. I should have fixed this, and I didn't. I apologize. From a total perspective here, we're sitting at 9.5. Now, this moved to 9, and I was like, oh, man, it's just capping is such a wild situation here that these two bums would be on the mound and it would move to the under. This opened up at 5:34 p.m., 9.5, minus 105, and then it moved to 9 at 8:54 this morning. It's gone up to 9.5, and it's back at 9. So this is the lowest point since Pinnacle opened this line at 5:34 p.m. This is the lowest number it's been at. It's at 9, and if you want over it, it's just minus 114. So can you trust these guys? Because Ballpark Pal does. Pinnacle wants you to bet the over. Rich Hill, 7-13, 5.21 ERA overall. His last start was horrible. 7-3 loss at the Brewers, 2 2/3, 2 earned runs. They pull him. On the road this year, he's got a 4.99 ERA. It's been a little better than, whether he's been in Pittsburgh at home or here in San Diego at home. Michaelis last start, 6 innings, 5 earned runs, 7-2 loss at the Phillies. He's been bad at home. 5.40 ERA, 275 opponents batting average. Padres aren't really hitting righties, 233, 706, and the Cardinals aren't hitting lefties, 215, 658. And both bullpens have been bad. Take it away for us here, C-Mac. Padres, Cardinals.
Yeah, both bullpens are bad. Yesterday I had the Cardinals first 5. That did not work out. That was one of my losses. And then they came back and win the game. And I guess it's just both pens were bad. I guess I should have gone, but I didn't trust the Cards either, and I thought they could get a few more runs, but the Padres did it. Game 1, I like the under. It's kind of like that with the Wainwright. Here, can you trust these two guys? Wins coming in to bet this under 9? I can't. Michaelis he's good for 4 or 5 runs, I think, here today. The Padres, this team is just both these teams. I can't bet on them. After yesterday, I am off. I'd lean with the Cardinals, and I'd be off the total. Too much conflicting shit going on here.
Yeah, I just don't. I can't. I don't want to make bets just because the market indicates that this is a sharp thing to do.
Yeah, both teams, after yesterday, I did lean to that over when I was on with Bavana. I didn't bet it, but you had to trust these teams the last month, 15 days. You can either what are you looking at? They were 29th and 27th, basically, in every offensive category. So
yeah,
that was another.
So that is the reason why the books think that this game could go under, and they're opening their arms to over money, is because of how weak each team's offensive attack has been.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I can't do it.
But Hill, he's given up at least 2. It seems like 3 every start. We were going, I remember his last one. He did only give up 2, but he was only in there for 2 innings, right? Against the Brewers. Yeah, 2 2/3.
Yeah, 2 2/3. No strikeouts.
Oof.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
If this was if this was last year and I was, we got on such a hot run late in the year, I could jump on it and add it. It would be a full game under, but I can't do it, and I got to move on. So we're moving on here. Moving on. Next up for us, 2:20 p.m. Eastern, the Milwaukee Brewers, 74-58. All of a sudden, 16 games over 500. What a job Craig Counsell does. He's not talked about enough. It's very consistent. This is a working man's ball club. Another team that doesn't make boneheaded mistakes all over the field. At the Chicago Cubs, 70-62, 36-31 at home. Another team that should be commended. Both these teams, 8 games over 500. We're Wrigley Field, Chicago, Illinois. So the weather. So first off, everybody must have seen that no books were putting the total out on this game. Money line was available last night. Money line was available yesterday, early evening. Total not around. Waiting for the total to come out. We'll see when the total did come out. I'd be curious to see when they finally had the balls to drop it. The issue is the wind blowing in heavy, 15.4 miles per hour, between 15.4 and 14.9 miles per hour. So I was sitting there. I was like, wow, I can't wait to see what this total is. So I'm like, I guess I can't put at 7.5. I was so interested in wanting to bet the under. Ballpark Pal is minus 23% home runs, minus 8% doubles and triples, and minus 16% overall, the lowest expected offense here. Troy Torrance says Cubs money line under weather in Chicago. DC Capper on the Brewers first 5, minus 130. We have Londo's Big Booty Latina play of the day over 7. He's cashed 4 days in a row. Justin McElvey stacks play of the day is the Brewers minus 117. Jeffrey Moore also on the Milwaukee Brewers. So let's take a look at the line history. I'd like to start with this total. It's what I wanted to attack here. And it's sitting here at 7. It opened up a minus 117 to the under. It's now just minus 111. So we've had to move 6 cents of movement to the over. Then I have to touch on the first 5 for you guys, because this is what really kind of threw me for the loop here. There was an immediate move to the over 3.5. It looks like it's come back a bit, but this opened up at over 3.5 at minus 110. It opened up at 8:31 this morning, and at 9:03 a.m. there'd be 9 cents of movement to the over 3.5. So again, like if I can't, explain something, I don't know how I could put money on it. And I can't. Even if the market indicate, all that stuff, if all the right indicators are there. Now, maybe if you're rolling and you're running nice and your bankroll is bountiful, you can do it. But I can't right now. The Cubs opening up at minus 102. They're now plus 107. So we've had 9 cents of movement to the Brewers. Look, I love Woodruff. I hate that I did not bet him in his last start. I fucking hate it. Like it was probably the most angry I've been at. I love Woodruff. And he's not been great so far on the road. Only 17 2/3. He's 7 runs, 10 hits. He's allowed 4 jacks, but I know what he's capable of. He's an elite pitcher in my mind. His last start, 11 strikeouts in that 7-3 win at home versus the Padres. Kyle Hendricks has been bad at home all year. I mean, I agree that the Brewers should be the move. I agree. And maybe I get there. Brewers versus righties, just 231, 681 OPS since August. I mean, that's a problem. You'd have to think if there was a squad that Hendricks should be able to slow down or shut down, it could be these guys. The Cubs are hitting 257, 794. Brewers bullpen's been so good, 2.92 ERA since August 1st. Cubs bullpen's been okay, 4.10 ERA. The only thing we haven't looked at right now is the cash flow, which I'm very, very interested in. For the cash flow here, 39% of the tickets, 45% of cash on the Cubs, 39-45. Then you have 79% of the tickets, 64% cash on the under. So look, this is sharp money on the over, 21-36, because it takes real balls to bet an over at Wrigley Field with the wind blowing in like this. I can't wait to hear your analysis. Noli knows says Hendricks pitches well in home day games. That's important. Rocco Rive says Woodruff the ace. Take it away for us here, C-Mac. Brewers, Cubs.
Yeah, Brewers ripped all those off loose last night and just a dead under. I mean, this is the same wind, basically 18-20. Dead in. I'd be back on the under. We saw one, I don't know, maybe a month ago at Wrigley. The wind was similar to this. Maybe it was the Braves. And they're the Braves, though. It went over the 7. I think there was 8 or 9 runs. in this one. Both these pitchers, though, have pretty good success the last couple of years. I looked up their starts last year. One start way back in April, Woodruff got shelled by the Cubs. Same thing with Hendricks, but they had 2 or 3 other really good ones. Hendricks, though, at home hasn't been great. This is Brewers. I'm looking to bet the Brewers. I just haven't done it, and I'm off the total, but I'd be on the under.
Yeah. What do you what?
2 teams playing well. Yeah, it's
But Woodruff shoving last start.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a guy who's thrown 34 innings this year. So he's coming off a start. Let's go to exactly how many pitches he threw. He's coming off of a start where he threw 107 pitches. Now he's gone, he threw 97 in his first start back and then followed that up with, no one runs. But that was at the beginning of the year. So, then he comes back on August 6th, 85 pitches, 86 pitches, 92 pitches, and 107 pitches. Is there any concern at all with Woodruff shoving last start, or do you think he's elite and now he starts rolling?
I think he's elite. I think he could roll today again.
There's our guy, Nordy says, what up, Jimmy? We can enter the turning up until 45 minutes after it starts. Yes, absolutely. So don't enter it beforehand and get blinded out. You have 45 minutes to enter the tourney. So just, and when you get knocked, like I got knocked out, I kind of forced it. I wanted to see if I can get a double up before the break. So because I only had like, I don't know, 200,000 or 300,000 chips and you get 750,000 start. So I got the buy-in with like a minute or 2 left in the 45 and you're good to go with 750,000. So yeah, just don't bother buying in before then. Don't get blinded out. And we'd love to to play with you again, Nordy. There's our guy, Luke Murphy, says grade 7's in the school today, learning their way around. Also, Luke Murphy's new book, his new novel, comes out in about a month time.
What's the name of it?
I don't know yet. I think it's I'm waiting for the big promo drop here, and I'll help. I'll help, but isn't it so wonderful? Like we have so many incredible people in our chat. Luke Murphy, esteemed author, novelist, as well.
Esteemed.
Yeah,
always unbelievable. You say that every time. I love it. He is esteemed.
Yeah, man. And then so I can't wait. So his new novel comes out in a month, and it'll be available everywhere, and we'll help promote it. Okay, so I guess I'm just wasting time here. Should I just move on the Brewers with you guys? BJ, best bet Yankees and Braves moneyline parlay from our guy BJ. And copy and paste that for you. And are you going to make the Brewers official here, C-Mac?
No, I'm going to come back on this one.
So let me ask you this then. What is the thing that gives you the most trepidation to pull the trigger on this?
They're the favorite.
Yeah.
Okay. Wind's blowing in. 2 good pitchers. It's just keeping me. I'd like a better price. One thing that starts out with me in gambling is number one is just value. When it comes down to it, in the very end, just from number one, before we get into all the other stuff, and it's right there. I mean, I think Woodruff is going to pitch well. I've had a tough time with the Brewers. I probably mentioned this to you. I mean, I don't know if you remember. They've just not a team over the years that have been good to me as well.
You just can't trust their sticks, man.
I know.
Yeah. I'm going to stay off of this spot. The problem here is if there's low implied volatility, you don't want to take the -0.5. And if you don't take the -0.5, you're going to get between -130 and -140 on Woodruff first 5. So I'm going to stay off it, unfortunately. All right. Let's roll on. And Noli knows says Cleveland, Minnesota again here. And Lucas Bryanson
I like it.
Is such a wealth of knowledge. Well, let's roll on. 3:07 p.m. Eastern, Washington Nationals 62-71, 33-35 on the road at the Toronto Blue Jays, 72-61, 34-30 at home. 34-30 at home. Everybody is going to be fired. And Don Mattingly is going to be our manager next year. And hopefully Aikens and those guys can just fuck off. They've been so annoying. No one likes them. I mean, it's okay if you don't succeed if people like you, but nobody likes these guys. And they're such smarmy fucks, they're such smarmy dicks. They're just, they act like they're smarter than you and they're better than you and they know what they're doing and they don't need any fucking guidance, anything at all from you. And the only saving grace is they haven't taken any of my money. Now, we went to one game, so I guess they took it in that way. But God, I hate the stadium. And
you won that game, right? I thought you've been to a couple.
Oh,
no?
It was glorious. No, that was the only game I've been to this year.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, I went to 2 Kikuchi starts. You're right. Sorry about that. Went to the first one with Ella as well. But this team is just, and I don't mean to keep coming back to it, but when it's all said and done, and you look at your team in whatever sport it is, I kind of want the stars of that team to have fought their way in life and all the way up. I got in like an argument, not really an argument, but sort of about, a family is their kids going to school and they're putting the kid in an alternative school with a small group. And I was like, oh no, I want my kid in a big public school. Life is fucking very, very hard. I want the competition to start right away because it's cutthroat out there. You better be able to fucking compete. And it was a really uncomfortable, like I was like basically told to stop.
Yeah, because that's a very when kids and that's like a very touchy subject on parents and how to parent. You know what I mean, though?
Yeah,
that's why. Yeah.
And I'm just saying, I just want my kid in the big public school compete right away because this is cutthroat out there.
Yeah,
you gotta be able to compete. And the 2 biggest stars of the team. I know I've talked about it before, and I don't need to keep hammering it, but when your parents are major league superstars, well, Dante wasn't a superstar, but
pretty
everything getting to you. Do you want it? How bad do you want it? Have you seen Guerrero's home run trot?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, fuck! It makes me want to turn the TV off. Like you've hit what 20 home runs?
I know.
Can somebody just act like they've done it before? Do you see Troy Torrance when he scores a touchdown? You see those clips of Troy Torrance when he scores a touchdown? It doesn't matter how beautiful the touchdown is. He puts the ball down, jumps up with his teammates, and he goes back. Act like you've done it before. But
by the way, shout out to Troy. I can't wait. The NFL show, Jimmy. Congrats. I hope it goes well.
I'm excited. I'm all excited. Biker said he gets all his parenting advice right here. The only note says Mattingly is not the answer. No, he might not be the answer.
He is not.
I've seen it. Be, but you know what? There have to be consequences. Fire everybody. Okay, but they haven't taken. I have not won future bet. I'm seriously. This is the first time since, like, even just fun future bets, just a little bit, just so if they. Oh God, I don't need to worry about it this year. Okay, sorry you guys. I apologize for that fucking diatribe. Washington Nationals 62-71, 33-35 on the road. The Blue Jays 7. God, look at that record. God damn, sorry. Okay, Rogers Center in Toronto, Ontario. I think it's good. I think it's a nice day outside. I have no fucking idea. Let's take a look at the weather here in Toronto. No, it's not. 66 Fahrenheit. It's kind of cool. 11.6 miles per hour in. The roof should be open. I imagine it's going to be open. Slatsy says he did that trot while they were losing. Says, imagine if Bob Gibson was pitching against. I just that run around the bases just makes me want to. I don't know, cut myself or turn the TV off. So I just turned the TV off. Okay, so here we go. Sorry, you guys. I could keep going. Trust me, I could go on for 10 more minutes about this Blue Jays team. Patrick Corbin, 9-11, 4.70 ERA, 1.47 whip. Last start, 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 homers, 7 Ks, 3 walks, and a 6.5 win at the Yankees. On the road, 4.89 ERA, 2.62 opponent's batting average. Going up against Chris Bassett. Bassett has not been very good of late. So if I tell you his numbers at home, 3.07 ERA with a 191 opponent's batting average, am I giving you enough information? Because I'm not. He's not been very good at home. His last start, he allowed 4 earned runs over 5 2/3. Is he dealing with arm fatigue? I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. And then if you look at the Blue Jays versus lefties, 304, 864 OPS, is that the right information? Because now Chapman's out of line. Now Chapman's been bad for a month with this finger injury, but now you have no Chapman and no Bichette. So I don't really know what to do with all of these stats, honestly. If you watch this team in front of you, they're just goddamn awful. There's our guy, Razor Sharp picks in the house. Pick 5 paid $6.3 thousand. Oh man, that's glorious.
Nice.
Glorious. I love it. And he says, ready for tonight's poker tourney. Razor, you are the man. Okay, so back to the spot. Let's just go over the line history here and set it up for you guys. We did look at the weather. So what did Ballpark Pal have Rogers at? Plus 9% home runs, plus 7% overall, just plus 2% doubles and triples. These Blue Jays are minus 235 favorites. I mean, that's just absolutely nuts. They open up minus 228. They're minus 235. This is just, I cannot believe they're that big favorite. But I don't want to bet against them just because I'm so angry. Although it's probably valid for the implied probability here. This total opened up at 8.5. It got up to 9 at 7:55 a.m. and only lasted there till 10 a.m. and it dropped back to 8.5. So there's been a 2-cent move to the over, a 7-cent move towards the Blue Jays. From cash flow scenario, we have 11% of the tickets and 95% of the cash on the Nationals. I get it. 79% tickets, 77% cash on the over, and yet I guess there's been a 2-cent move to the over. Take it away for us here, C-Mac, Nats, Blue Jays.
Yeah, we'll see on this total. I'm going to stay off that. These teams get together. There's runs. That first game snuck over, too. Bunch of runs early. I think the total was 8. I almost moved on that. It was 6-3, that Jays game. Do you trust the Jays, Jimmy? And like you just talked about, you don't. And I don't think this lineup is very good. And guys like Springer and Vlad aren't doing much. When these guys can't do anything right now, they need to be the guys in this one. You mentioned Bassett, been really good all year at home, 3 ERA, a little bit touched lately. He is a workhorse, a lot of innings, but is he wearing down maybe a little bit? I've been on the Nats all year. I didn't take him yesterday. But even game 1, I thought there was some value. They dug themselves a hole, and that could happen here. It was 4-0 right away, I believe. There's too much value here with the Nats, and I believe I'm going to pull the trigger. I wanted to go through just a few more things. I want the Nats lineup and a couple others, but you're right. Blue Jays can't be this price. Patrick Corbin, I watched that last start against the Yankees. It was very good. He gave up a solo bomb to Judge and a 2-run shot to Torres, but his last 3 starts have been solid. He could always get lit up bad, but too big a value here with the Nats. Just want to wait on those couple things.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, I guess we have to go to Fangraphs and look at who is exactly hitting lefties right now. Because this lineup, do you think they're happy that they gave DeYoung away? I don't see how they could be now. Schneider is our best player. Is that what it's come down to? It's just crazy. Wild. It's just crazy. Springer's playing pretty well right now, but we all watch that 0 for 4.
He's hit a little bit better, yeah, lately.
And he's 35. This contract's not going to be easy to swallow soon. Guerrero, Merrifield's batting cleanup, possibly. Oh, God. Okay, let's just stop.
He is.
I would like to study this a little more. As well. I just need to know exactly who is the one hitting lefties. And you know what, Linz, I shouldn't talk about it. Let's just pull it up really quickly here. This will just take 1 second here just to see who on this, because those numbers against lefties are really, really strong. So let's just move over to this here. Let's go in August. So we go from 8. Oh, shoot. Sorry. 8. This will just take 1 second. 8 to 8:30. I guess I probably should have had this up, and I apologize. Versus right-handed pitching update. Here we go. And then let's go to. Okay. Let's get to it.
Yeah, Nats are only a first 5 team, period, Morgan. You can never go full game with them. Similar to the Rockies for me. They're only a first 5 bet. Yeah, Corbin can't be seen 3 times.
Okay, here we go. We'll get there. It's just give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. The Blue Jays versus lefties with these very impressive numbers. We have God, who's hitting him? So go over to OPS. Oh my God, I have to do this again. I'm sorry. All right, this is taking too long. Okay, here we go. OPS.
What are you looking in the last month or
Yeah,
full
I'm looking at
year?
the last month. I mean, it's just Brandon Belt, who
Yep.
I mean, Brandon Belt was benched against lefties when he played for the Giants. He's got a 1.069 OPS. Varsho 786, and then Davis Schneider 1.247. I mean, I do not believe these numbers against lefties at all. So I would like to be on the Nats early, and then it comes down to whether or not you trust Bassett, and I don't. I mean, if we go through his last few home starts, they've not been good. There's no reason to trust them here. I don't see how we can look at those. I just think those numbers versus lefties and then Bassett at home are just two spots that should not be believed. His last start, again, we talked about, he allowed 4 earned runs against Cleveland over 5 2/3. The home start before that, he allowed 4 earned runs versus the Cubs in 6 innings. Home start before that, he allowed 4 earned runs over 6 innings versus Baltimore. So you know what? How do you not bet the Washington Nationals, first 3 or first 5 here with the implied probability? I mean, it's great.
Yep.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna move on the Nats first 5. I need a little bit more time on it. Okay.
Yeah, me too. I'm just waiting a couple things, and I'll be on.
All right, let's move on. Sorry I took so long on that game. Let's move on. 3:45 p.m. Eastern is the next one up for us. Cincinnati Reds and San Francisco Giants. I've doubled up on this game, and we have, from Ron Crawford, the spreadsheet play of the day. Spreadsheet play of the day is San Francisco -1. Shout out to our guy, Ron Crawford. Doubled up on the Reds Giants unders. I got the first 5 under 4 last night, -110. I got the full game under 8 at -115. And it doesn't, beating these market moves has meant fucking squad ass zilch. But right now at Bet365, the under 7.5 is -120. I got 8 at -115. The first 5 is at 3.5 at plus money. It's been there for a while at 3.5 at plus money. And I don't want to compare Hunter Green to Spencer Strider. He probably doesn't deserve to be compared to Strider, but they both have a ton of velocity. And Strider just mowed down the Giants like they weren't even there. The Giants have issues against high velocity, and now Hunter Green comes in. I lost the first 5 under in Cincinnati, Arizona on Friday, but Hunter Green didn't allow a run over the first 3 innings. It was 1-0 after 3. Then he got lit up. He has bad innings. But can he shut down this Giants lineup? I think so. And is Logan Webb, coming off back-to-back starts against the Braves, going to enjoy pitching against the Reds? I think so too. These are not the Reds from 6 weeks ago. They're hitting 230 with a 710 OPS versus righties in August. Giants are hitting 212, 600. I have no confidence in getting paid in this bet. I mean, beating these market moves and just taking it right in the prison pocket, and it's so fucking aggravating. But I had to bet this. I felt like both these pitchers can bounce back here. I love Logan Webb at home, 2.48 ERA, 227 opponent's batting average. He has consecutive home starts. He just got touched by the Braves, who are absolute monsters. So that's my spot. I'm on the first 5 under 4 -110, full game under 8 at -115. Let's just quickly touch on the weather and then hear what our guy C-Mac is doing on this spot. 68 Fahrenheit. It's hot in San Francisco. It's hot on the West Coast. It gets up to 73 Fahrenheit. I don't believe we've had a hotter baseball game this year in San Francisco than what it is today. 4.5 miles per hour right to left. Usually we have wind blowing out at 18 miles per hour, and it doesn't matter at Oracle. Here it matters a little bit, because of the warmth. Now it's still -22% home runs at Oracle. I mean, it always seems to be, and it's just -2% overall. From a line history standpoint, we'll start with this total. This total in Giants Reds is sitting as I said, I already, I don't even need to do this. I gave it to you at Bet365.
Mhm.
That's enough info. And then over at for the cash in this one, you have 83% of the tickets and 90% of the cash on the under. Yeah, it's public, and I don't. But at least the books are showing some concern about it all. And then 81% of the tickets, 89% of cash on the San Francisco Giants. Take it away for us here, C-Mac. Just talking about the Blue Jays, I'm angry. I can just feel it.
Yeah.
I feel it. It's just you invest all this time and energy into these teams that you're a fan of, and they just get you right in the old bottom mouth year after year. Take it away for us here at CMAC Reds Giants.
I agree with you here, Jimmy, on the under. Right now, I can't move on it. I don't see many 8s out there left, so I didn't get on it. Even though I still at 7.5, I think this goes under. Logan Webb, you mentioned the Braves starts, which he was all right, and that's the Braves. They rake. But 2.48 ERA at home. This is where you want him. The big question mark was Hunter Green. A couple bad starts. It's usually a bad inning or two with him. But the Giants, I know they've got a few runs. They did last night, but I don't trust this lineup. My only thing was Hunter Green now with him, even though I think he has a good start here, and now it's gone to 7.5. And I do think if you're on a side here, I agree with Ron. The Reds just can't. They're just not hitting the baseball right now. There's injuries. The young kids have kind of just a 500 year, I think's good for them. So I just can't move on it now. But I agree with you guys.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. And another thing, there's been a lot of bad this year, but one of the things that we have to stay true to is in the future market, buying low and selling high. And the Reds, I had a chance to get on the Reds to win the division late. I know people have them at 25 to 131, but I had a legit chance where we were talking about it. I liked it. They were in the midst of a winning streak at 4.5 to 1. And we all agreed during the show that if I was doing it, regardless of the outcome, it's a mistake because I'm buying them too high. And that talking it out with you guys saved me from a losing bet. And we have to remember always, the future market is a market that the bookies are so happy. They want you to bet so badly. And so the VIG is bad for us. So we have to know that we're making the right call, and we have to be buying low at all times.
Bingo. Well said.
Yeah. Well, you guys saved me. I was so close. I wanted to bet the Reds. And then I forget if it might have been Vitalis. It might have been Nick Earl. Somebody in chat was like, we're buying them too high right now. And it saved me. Okay. Spreadsheet play today. San Francisco Giants -1, -118. I'm on Cincinnati, San Francisco, first 5 under 4 and full game under 8. And I understand that unders have been tough on gamblers this year, and beating market moves has not always helped. But you have to try and have some confidence on these spots that you like, and I like that spot. Let's move on. 4:10 p.m. Eastern. Houston Astros 76-58, 41-27 on the road at the Boston Red Sox 69-64, 36-32 at home. We're at Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts. We talk about pitchers that are hard to figure out. When they're going to shove. And Framber Valdez is like Reed Detmers in the last 5 or 6 games or something. He has had 2 starts that are absolutely spectacular, and then he's been lit up in the other starts. Coming off 4-1 loss at the Tigers, but it wasn't on him. 7 innings, no earned runs, 6 Ks, 5 walks. 6 Ks, 5 walks, not the best case scenario. And then we have Cutter Crawford, who's just not been able to pitch very well at home. Now, his last start at home was okay. It was a 7-4 loss to the Dodgers, but he went 5 innings and he only had 2 runs against the Dodgers, who are very, very, very tough. There's our guy, Nate Dogg, 420 in the house. Great to see you, Nate Dogg. DC Capper on the over 10 here. Astros are starting to hit a little better. 260, 758 OPS versus righties in August. Red Sox versus lefties, 250, 738. And then the Astros bullpen, 3.3 ERA, and the Boston Red Sox bullpen letting Jose down at the worst of times. Just crushing his spirit. Let's take a look at the weather here. We have.
I still remember that Seattle game, Jimmy, with there. I think you're on it too. The Red Sox against the Mariners. God damn.
Yeah, the only regret I have is I said on Sharpie's future show, I planned to bet the over, team total over for the Red Sox. I planned it, and then I got cold feet when it came to actually betting it. And
I didn't bet it, but I liked it. I thought they could get over whatever it was, 76?
76 and a half, I think.
Yeah.
75 Fahrenheit, 6.3 miles per hour left to right, and then it stays around that, and then it goes out. So it's just slightly out at first, but then it's out to right field. Let's take a look at the Ballpark Pals expectations here of Fenway. We have a very offensive, a plus 28% doubles and triples. That's huge. And it's not even blowing out to the Green Monster. And then plus 18% runs. So very offensive weather here in this one. Let's see the line history. Then next up, we'll start with this total. We've already heard from DC Capper that he's on the over 10 in this one. The over 10 right now actually opened up at 10.5, and it only lasts there for 6 minutes. And even since it's moved to 10, there's been 4 cents of movement to the under. That's interesting with the offensive weather. Let's take a look at the money line here for this one. Still afternoon ball for us to cap. I love Wednesdays and Thursdays. We have the Astros opening up minus 131. They're now minus 133. This line has not moved at all. I mean, we're talking, this came out at 5:42 p.m. yesterday. It's gone up to minus 132. It's gone down to minus 130. It stayed within 3 cents. Sharp line here in Boston. Let's take a look at the cash flow then for this one. We have 49% of the tickets, 88% of the cash on the Boston Red Sox, and the line stagnant. Then we have 23% of the tickets on the over, but 33% of the cash. But seems like the market is dropping this number. I apologize for the screaming in the background. Here we go. C-Mac, take it away for us here. Astros, Red Sox.
Yeah, I think this game does have runs. And what do you make of Framber Valdez? You mentioned it, the starts. It's just been crazy. He's got hit around and horrible. Throws a no-hitter. Then the last start is really good. This Astros lineup's been coming alive. I was on them again yesterday, but I'm flipping here. And this is, Crawford hasn't been good at home. You talked about, the splits are real. But I think the Red Sox see Valdez well. I can't go full game. We just mentioned that Seattle game where they blew it. But I'm going to take them first 5. I see too much value in the Red Sox, especially I think plus 118 is about as good as we can get here first 5 with both Sox.
Let's lock it in. There is a fight out front of that door between Carter and Ella, a battle. And sounds like it's pretty even here. A lot of tears and a lot of screaming. I'm going to try to stay focused. Trying to stay focused. I apologize. Okay. Boston Red Sox first 5 here for C-Mac. Let's lock this in. I get it. I get this look. Again, I mean, it comes down to implied probability. Pete Loshak, who beats baseball every year, always talks about the weighted coin flips. Look at what C-Mac's done so far. He's got the Guardians first 5 at plus 140. I think you've nailed the implied probability on that bet. Nailed it. If these two teams, Bybee versus Gray, in Minnesota play 100 times, I think that the plus 140 would provide you'd have a positive ROI on that bet. And I think you're doing the same thing here with the Red Sox first 5 at home, Crawford versus Valdez. So let's lock this in for you. The best. Oh, we're going first 5. Sorry, I have full game up here. Let me pull up first 5. And you have plus 115s. Looks like everywhere plus 115. And yes, that's what I see. The best one is plus 115. First 5 plus 115. All right.
This is one game too where I think we could see some runs. It didn't get over. There was a ton of guys on base yesterday in this game, and it stayed under. But I think we could get over here in this one too.
But the only thing you want official here at this point is Red Sox first 5 for C-Mac. All right. Alfred says he's holding his breath, taking the Red Sox money line. And Kelly McKinnon says, enjoy it. It disappears fast. No, I do. I just also really want to focus. And I think it will be much easier focusing next week when Ella goes to school. Okay, we move on. 4:10 p.m. Eastern. Oh, Londo's 3 bets are in. He's on the over 13.5 in Atlanta, Colorado, over 7 Milwaukee, Chicago, and he's on Baltimore run line. I'm going to copy and paste that. Thank you for sharing that with us, Londo. All right, let's move on to Oakland A's. Seattle Mariners is next up. And I know that I try not to care about what happened yesterday, but how did that game finish up? Wow, 3-1 Oakland. Wow, what a big loss. I think I should have realized that when I looked at the standings this morning, but wow. T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington. Let's roll. Zach Neal, we broke down Zach Neal pretty deep dive in his last start. That was when he went up against Dylan Cease. And Zach Neal is a journeyman that teams fight for, that teams care about. Mally Mouse says no Julio Rodriguez and no Kirby. Says that's how. Dabby Cab says, think we should do a live bet stream Sunday night for FSU LSU. That sounds dope. I think that's a great idea. That's the last Sunday night that college football gets to flex. All right, Zach Neal versus Bryce Miller. Let's take a look at first the weather in Seattle. We will start there. We have 66 Fahrenheit, 6.1 miles per hour, out to left center, stays between 6.1 and 4.9 miles per hour. Let's move over to Ballpark Pal and see what they think of Seattle in this one. T-Mobile Park, 0% home runs, minus 4% doubles and triples, minus 6% runs overall. Let's pull up the line history then for this spot. Bryce Miller and these Mariners are huge favorites, between minus 250 and minus 270, depending on where you... Oh, that's first 5. My bad. Sorry. Going the full game. Here we go. Minus 286 over at Pinnacle. Huge favorites. They opened up at minus 268, 18 cents of movement towards these Seattle Mariners. Let's take a look at the total for this one. This total is sitting at 8.5, juice to the over. It opened up at 8.5, minus 118 to the over. So it's just minus 111 to the over. So we've had 7 cents of movement to the under. 18 cents of movement to the Mariners, 7 cents of movement to the under. 91% of the tickets and 99% of the cash on the Seattle Mariners, expecting a bounce back from that 3-1 loss yesterday. That's wild. 91 and 99. At least for those of you who are on the Mariners, if you are out there, at least there's been an 18-cent move in your direction. From the total, we have 47% of tickets, 47% of tickets and 57% of cash on the under. All right. Chang Kim, that's such bullshit. Unless is there a way, if you're dealing with your own personal bookie, they may not have something on their site, depending if they do it on their site or doing it through email. They may not have something that requires you to clarify whether something is action or not. That can be tricky, but that's bullshit. But if the bookie doesn't have anything on the site, then all bets are action if you can't press something or do something. But that's bullshit. And I hate hearing that. Love to hear, if you're on Twitter, but I mean, if you're dealing with a personal bookie, I mean, it's just hard to really get the kind of accountability that you would want, that you can get from some other books. AOD, nice to see you, my man. All right, let's break this down. Oakland Athletics, Seattle Mariners. Zach Neal, the journeyman, pitched okay in that 12-4 win at the White Sox. Now, the White Sox can't hit, and he did allow 4 runs, but just 2 of which were earned. 2 Ks, 3 walks. Going up against Bryce Miller, coming off a 7-5 win at home versus the Royals. At home, he's got a 3.53 ERA. I've had a tricky time, honestly, figuring out when Bryce Miller is going to look spectacular. A's versus righties, 219, 698 OPS. Mariners versus righties, 279, 849 OPS. They had been ripping the leather off the ball until last night. The A's bullpen, 4.94 ERA since August 1st, being a little better. Mariners bullpen's been excellent. Brandon Cummings is on Seattle, Oakland, first 5 over 3.9 minus 240 for a half unit. Says he thinks J.P. Crawford has a multi-hit game today. Over 2.5 runs. Sorry, over first 5 over 2.5 runs. Minus 240. I do not want to be involved in this big of a favorite with 99% of the cash on them. I do not care what happened yesterday. It's helped me so much when I stopped caring about it in baseball and not examining baseball like a team sport, unlike hockey or football, when it's so crucial what happened in the game prior. I do not want this big of a favorite. Ixnizzle in the house. All right. So there we go. A's, Mariners. No action for me. Let's move on to the Yankees, Tigers. We've had some cappers move on the Yankees. Let's see. Go over. Was it Tone? No, Tone's got Philly money line, Orioles money line, St. Louis team total first 7 over 3.5 at plus 218. I thought we saw somebody on these New York. Yes, BJ. BJ's best bet was the Yankees Braves money line parlay, putting 5 units on that one. So let's break this one down. Comerica Park in Detroit, Michigan. And we have Garrett Cole, and we've been waiting to find out who he's going up against. That some places had Joey Wentz, but Joey Wentz has been so bad. It still says unknown pitcher. Let's see what RotoWire is expecting here for the Detroit Tigers. We have, it says Joey Wentz. I wonder if anybody knows who is going to be pitching here. Nordy says, I've been using my phone app for poker. If I want to use the laptop, do I just go to the website or is there an app on the computer? It depends. We've had some issues with Chrome. Chrome's been good. We've had some issues with people using Safari. I couldn't get into the table right away in our last tournament. I had to go out and then come back in. But I've never had a problem when I download Bet Online. So I've downloaded Bet Online, and I got my mom to download Bet Online so that she won't have a problem. So you can use whatever you want, but you may have to go out and come back in if you don't get to your table right away. And that's just not how you want to start a poker tournament. It's a little bit of panic setting in. Brooklyn Funk Project says the poker tournament sounds fun. I hope you can be in it, my man Pete. Brooklyn Funk Project in the house. Love you, Pete. I would love to have you guys in it. It starts at 8 p.m. on Bet Online. Let me just pop this in once more. We have it up here. I thought we had it up here. Maybe it's not up here. The new one is. Yes, it is. Here we go. These are. I don't know if this is going to have the right date. And then I have to pull us out. But Pub Sports NFL is the password, and the start time's at 8 p.m. Eastern. And the password's case sensitive, so you have to have capital P, capital S. I will be hosting the live stream, which I don't. I would prefer not to, because I want to focus on. I imagine it's. I'm not going to be good. That's what I imagine. Okay, let's roll on. Let's roll on here. But you did miss C-Mac, my man. Did you have a move on A's Mariners?
No, we can go to the next game. I didn't have much on that.
Huge favorites, almost minus 290. 99% of the cash is.
Can the A's win again? Mariners red hot, so I'm just off.
Yeah, no, but they talked about Julio not in the lineup yesterday. And Schnizzle says, can't wait for Palooza 3. Says, your boy will be back to kill it with the rest of the fam in San Antonio. I can't wait. I can't. It's the best weekend of the year for me. Okay. A's, Mariners. We move past the Yankees, Tigers. So Joey Wentz must not be starting.
He's not?
Say what's he, Mac?
He's not?
He must not be because none of the books are putting his name in. And it must be his start in the rotation. So the only reason why now RotoWire does have Joey Wentz there, so we can do some due diligence in case it is Joey Wentz. But the fact that all these books have unknown pitcher listed is fishy. It's suspect. So They have undecided at a bunch of the books or unknown pitcher. So let's do a little bit of due diligence on Joey Wentz, but I don't think it's him. Let's talk about Garrett Cole, 11-4, 2.95 ERA, 1.04 WHIP. His last start, just one earned run, a homer. It was 11 strikeouts, no walks. He pitched very well in a 6-2 win at the Rays. On the road, he's been very good all year. 2.48 ERA, 210 opponents batting average. If it is Joey Wentz, he's had a strange 3-game run. 2 of his last 3 starts, he hasn't allowed a run. I know that everybody wants to fade him, but this is a very highly thought of prospect who has had a horrific season. 6.62 ERA. He's allowed 18 home runs in 84 and a third, and the Yankees are destroying lefties. So I don't know if anybody in the chat who they expect. Rocco Rodgers is maybe an opener, then Wentz. That is very, very possible idea.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense if that's the case. Yankees bullpen 4.09 ERA, Tigers bullpen 5.24 ERA. Let's just quickly touch on the weather here in Detroit. We have 66 Fahrenheit, 6.5 miles per hour out, dies down to 4.6 miles per hour. Let's take a look at ballpark's expectation of Comerica. I can't believe I haven't been down there this year. It drives me crazy. I love the ballpark. Minus 11% home runs, plus 5% runs overall. Take a look at the line history here for this one. Pinnacle has moved it to 8. It did open at 7.5, minus 113 to the over. It got up to 8 at 10:13 a.m., then dropped back 7.5, and then again up to 8, and it's stuck there. It's now been at 8 for an hour and 55 minutes, and it's juiced to the over. It's minus 113 to the over 8, and I see a lot of books out there with 7.5s, so they must not be paying attention to what Pinnacle's doing, because now that 8 is juiced here. Now that 8 is juiced. So let's take a look at the money line here for this one. Sorry, let me just move over here. Get the money line up for us. The minus 218 for the New York Yankees here. Minus 218. They opened up at minus 208, so 10 cents of movement towards the New York Yankees. And I don't think the cash is going to give us any information here because there's no, they do. There's 4,407 tickets in. Wow. So 29% of the tickets and 88% of the cash on the Tigers. Wow. 77% of tickets, 92% cash on the over. Very interesting. There is our guy, Nutflush Johnson. Sorry, I'm late, boys. Training a new guy, so we'll be in and out. Hope you guys got some winners yesterday. Nutflush, we need you in the poker tournament. He's a very, very skilled poker player and came third. Came third in our tournament last week. And he went in with a few of his guys from work. And it was everyone put in $100, and the person who lasted the longest took all the money. And his buddy came fourth or fifth. Like it was that close for Nutflush Island to get all that cash. I hope you join us, Nutflush. And we'd love to hear if you can, Nutflush. I know you're training a new guy, but your plan. Oh, he's in. Beautiful. What is your? And Brian Watson's a 7.5. I don't think that Brian Watson, we should immediately bet the over right now, but Bet365 is often a little slow at the market moves, and I try to take advantage of it as best I can. So let's cap it fully here and hear what C-Mac has to say, but I'd be very interested in betting that right now. But Garrett Cole could easily shove here. So take it away here. Oh, Mally Mouse says all the money was on the Tigers when Severino pitched. How that went. Take it away for us here, C-Mac. Yankees, Tigers, Garrett Cole against... We're not sure. Maybe an opener and then Joey Wentz.
Yeah, with the total, real quick. I mean, if Cole does shove, the Yankees kind of get enough runs. Both these teams, the last month, haven't hit at all. But we know if Wentz is in there for innings, he's been bad all year. And the Yankees, like I talked about yesterday, it just seems like as long as Judge is in versus lefties, they hit him because it's really him and everyone else. LeMahieu's been all right, Gleyber Torres, but these offenses have been horrible, the last month and all year, really. So I don't want to take an over even at this low of a 7.5. And I don't know if there's enough value here. To me, with the Tigers, I do love the price. But if Wentz is in, I just don't have trust in the Yankees. I don't want them on, even with Cole on the road, laying on the run line. So in the end, this is just a pass.
Yeah, I get it. I'd like to know who the Tigers are throwing, but yeah,
I mean, it says Wentz is at least going to pitch something. I don't know what that is. And he did have his best start a couple days ago. His last one against Cleveland, I believe.
Yeah, 2 of his last 3 starts, he hasn't allowed a run, even though his numbers are horrific. Mally Mouse's Yankees team total over and full game over. Kelly McKinnon on Yankees -1.5. Deshaun G using Aaron Judge as a parlay piece for his home run. And BJ says, this is simple for me. If the Tigers couldn't hit Severino, I don't like their chances against Cole, who's a favorite for the Cy Young. He says, Yankees, nothing else to discuss, says Mally Mouse. Says, I've hit the team total for Yankees every game. And Rocco's going to be on the Judge home run. Says, if it's Wentz, it's a good matchup. I get it. A shout out to our guy Lamont Williams, celebrated his birthday on Sunday.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a great guy, man. Been with us since day one. I hope you had a great birthday. I saw some pics of the feast at his birthday. Ooh, God, that food looked phenomenal. Happy you got a chance to celebrate. And my birthday pick was a fucking winner.
Beautiful.
Little Red Blacks Elks over. That was the rouge after rouge after rouge breakdown that we talked about. I just, our live bet it too. I hammered it live when we were out having drinks with the family. I hammered it live. It was 10-5 in the final drive of the first half, and I was like, this game's gonna soar over. And 50 points. Trey Ford's the real deal. It's going to be so much fun to have a Canadian quarterback from a Canadian university step up in the league. But I hope you had a great birthday, Lamont Williams. We love you, man. Thank you for putting all your time. Even when you're at work, you make sure to come in and give us your max bet. You've done that for 6 years now, and it means a ton to us, man. To have cappers like you do that, it means so much to us. So we thank you and hope you had a great birthday. Okay, Yankees, Tigers, no action for us. Let's move on. 6:40 p.m. Eastern. Can the Marlins win a game here to take a little pressure off my Orioles to win the division bet, please? I still feel very good about everything, but still 2.5 games. We know that can go in a second. Rays are playing good ball. As soon as Wander Franco got out of the clubhouse, they're really coming together well. Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida, Zach Eflin versus Jesus Luzardo. Let's start with the line history here in this one. Jesus versus Luzardo. We have, Jesus Eflin versus Luzardo. We have these, we'll start with the Rays. Opening up -111, now -117. They got up to -123 there, so there had been a 12-cent move towards them, but that's been bought back by 6 cents. So 6 cents of movement towards the Rays. Let's take a look at the total here in this one. We are dealing with Rays, Marlins. This is a big game for AL East. I just need one win in this series. This total opened up at 7.5 juice to the over. It's now juice to the under. So we had 12 cents of movement towards the under, 6 cents of movement towards the Rays. And from a cash flow scenario, we have, move over here. Here we go. We have 54% of the tickets and 78% of the cash on the Rays. It's only moved over 6 cents, but at least there's been some movement there if you're on them. And then this total is just 53% of tickets, 46% of cash on the under. Now, it's like it's sort of like a dog to favorite scenario when the over is juiced the way it was. Now the under is juiced the way it is. Jarek White on the Rays -1.5. Alfred 44 says Luzardo's been off in his opinion. He's going with the Rays today. Our guy Wine Time Sports in the house. LA, Philadelphia over 9 at -105, and Milwaukee, Chicago under 7 at -110 for Wine Time Sports. Regis Austin's on the Rays money line and run line. We also have Michael Lee on the Mariners money line. That's an expensive price to pay, Michael, -290. But if that works for you, then get after it. Lamont Williams max bet is Cleveland under 8, which is a spot that we talked about heavy. I get it from an X's and O's standpoint. Let me just make sure I've got that copied and pasted. That C-Mac is on the Guardians first 5 there at +140. I really like that bet. That game pops off in 18 minutes, so we'll go over it again. Mally Mouse says, if I'm not mistaken, don't the Marlins own Eflin? Let's go over all of that right now. Let me just set up here. Maybe actually we'll get C-Mac to look up the batter versus pitchers while I just set a quick table here. Eflin, 13-8, 3.55 ERA, 1.04 whip. His last start that was up against Cole, and he was good. He was really good. 11 strikeouts, 1 walk, 6 innings. He allowed 2 earned runs, but lost the battle. 55 and 2/3 on the road. He's 4.37 ERA. He's just not being as good on the road, but he's still being, good. Then you have Luzardo, huge bounce back performance in his last start at the Padres. It was a frustrating situation. I really, the breakdown that you guys dropped on that game, you guys broke down Snell and what's been going on with the movement of his pitches. And that I thought, wow, if Snell is going to get touched a little bit, then we got to cash this over because Luzardo's going to allow a couple runs. Snell gets touched for 3 runs in the second inning. And those are the only 3 runs in the entire game. It was Luzardo pitched great, and it screwed me. Much love, Kelly McInnes. Thank you so much for rolling with us, my man. Noli Knows has given us. I love Kelly, man. Great capper. Noli Knows giving us the skull and bones for a dead under here with Luzardo versus Eflin. Rays versus lefties in August, 268, 735 OPS. They're hitting with a high average, but not with much power. Marlins are not hitting with any power as per usual. Marlins versus righties, 237, 709 OPS. Rays bullpen is not being very good. 4.63 ERA in August. It's not being the Rays bullpen of old, but it still doesn't hurt them very much. I mean, what the Rays are 2.5 games out of number 1 overall in the entire league. Or no, I guess what are the Braves are? I guess I said that earlier, and the Braves are 86 and 45. I keep thinking the Orioles are number 1 in the league, but the Braves are game and a half ahead of the Orioles. Okay, here we go. Take it away for us here, C-Mac. Rays, Marlins.
This should be a good one. Normally, and there's Miami, these guys have pretty good numbers. Obviously, seeing Eflin, the old days in division with the Phillies, written about 280 off him. Chisholm, there's a few other ones that have good numbers. Eflin's last few starts, he hasn't been that bad on the road, where normally he was him on the road, you fade him in this one. I thought, yesterday I thought there was a little value with the Rays, put up a ton of runs. I could see it. One thing is Eflin, can he keep pitching well? You're on the road. And Luzardo, I did like that start, but I just think he's had a ton of innings, and I don't really trust him, even though he is here at home. In the end, I had to stay off. At 7.5, I'd lean to the under. I kind of like the Marlins. They've been a team, we mentioned the Brewers. I can't trust the sticks. I don't know when the bats come to play.
Yeah, I think that Noli's on to something with this under here. But you're right. When Luzardo was struggling there, we all pointed to his innings, saying, that's the reason. And then he pitches spectacularly against the Padres. Now he comes back home where he's been good all year. Let me just take a good look at the batter versus pitcher. I have the Vines Freeland up here because I'm so interested in that game. I spent too long on the Vines Freeland spot, but I'd like just to take one look here at the batter versus pitcher for Eflin. C-Mac talking about the amount of opportunities the Marlins had at Eflin when he was in Philadelphia. Arise 1 for 3, okay. Bell 2 for 5, but with a jack. Berger 2 for 4 with a jack. Chisholm doesn't hit him. 133 and 15 at bats. I guess that's. I guess it's not too worrisome against Luzardo. Very little, obviously opportunities against him.
Yeah.
The Rays versus lefties, they're not hitting with much power anymore. I feel like the idea from Noli is worth it to me. The under 7.5. Watching it go from the over being juiced to the under being juiced, I think that I'm comfortable rolling here with Noli Knows. I'm going to put Noli in capitals here. Noli dead under, but I think I tailed Noli. I think this is an addition to my action. It feels like the Rays are just playing playoff baseball right now. What are you going to say, C-Mac?
They are. Before here, I want you to add that Guardians Twins. Give me the full game under 8. And I think the best number is 115. That's what I got, but there's a 113 at Heritage.
All right, let's lock you in.
And I'll be right back. I got to turn the air on in here.
Yeah, no worries. You are locked in the under 8. So you have C-Mac rolling with Lamont Williams max bet. Cleveland, Minnesota under 8 at minus 113. All right, let's roll on. I feel like could have major regrets not rolling on that. At least first 5 under, which I wanted, but man, Pinnacle was just so strange. Let's just see if Pinnacle is going to offer him a better line on that here. Under 8 at minus 109. Available, right? Oh no, just moved to minus 111. Under 8 minus 111. God, that's been so strange. I don't know why that's not a 7.5. Billy Fritter says Marlins just saw Flynn a couple weeks ago and hit him well. They smashed him in that start. They hit him really hard in that start, and that screwed me. I was on an under in that one, but and that was Eflin at home as well. That was a very difficult start to quantify. But you're right, Billy. I wonder if that should give me enough trepidation. I've got a question mark beside it and dead under beside it as well. So that spot here, sorry, I just want to give him the best juice here, is the minus 110. This game, minus 111. This game starts in 11 minutes. 11 minutes. So just before we go into the next game, let me remind everybody of the games that are popping off in 11 minutes. I'm on the Phillies minus 1, and I got a bad line. I wonder if the market's moved towards them since. Oh, it has. Back at minus 175. That's a relief. Okay. I got the Phillies minus 1. I'm on the Orioles minus 1. There was some buyback when the lineups came out, but I still beat that line by a little bit, which is fine. Nice job, Damon Forbes. And thank you, Damon, for putting your horse action in the chat. Thistle down for our guy, Damon Forbes. And then we have a lot of action on the Guardians Twins. Pimp slap play today is the first 5 under 4.5. Lamont max bets on the under 8. C-Mac is also on the under 8. And he's also on the first 5 plus 140. Lamont's max bet, Londo, is the same bet that C-Mac just put in, the under 8 in the Twins Guardians. Okay, let's roll on. Next up for us is the Texas Rangers at New York Mets. We're at Citi Field in Queens, New York. Dane Dunning going up against Denny Reyes. Denny Reyes, who has looked bad here. But Denny Reyes is going to require a little bit of a deeper dive. We have Denny Reyes, and then we have Darius Vines making his MLB debut in a couple. We have Andre Jackson in the next start. So these are some tricky pitchers where the sample size of statistics to study them is not fast. Let's talk about Denny Reyes first here. He threw 17 games, started 15 of them at Syracuse in AAA, and had a 5.80 ERA and a 1.42 whip. He's been lit up and smoked thus far in the show. In 2022, he was with Baltimore. And in Norfolk, in AAA, he was 0-7 with a 7.17 ERA and a 1.52 whip. Statistically speaking, Denny's just been lit up and smoked. When he's gone down to the Dominican Winter League the last 2 years. The sample size is tiny, but he's been touched down there. I mean, it's pretty difficult to find where Denny has looked good. And I guess if you wanted to look that far, you'd say, oh, well, there was 7 2/3 innings with Baltimore in 2022. He's not looked good. Jay Peasy's on the Phillies run line, expecting cash while at work. Well, if you cash, I cash Jay Peasy because I'm on the minus 1. Let's get that money. So Denny Reyes last start was the 21-3 loss at home versus the Braves. Went 4 2/3, 8 hits, 5 earned runs. He had a start before that where he only went 1 inning and he allowed 5 earned runs. He's not looked good here in the show. Dane Dunning has looked a little worse of late. He allowed 4 earned runs in that 12-2 loss at the Twins last out. That was when he went up against Sonny Gray. And on the road, the series been good, 3.33 ERA. Rangers first righty since August 1st, 251, 767 OPS. The Mets aren't hitting, 218, 676. Rangers bullpen, 4.24 ERA. Mets bullpen, that's since August 1st, has been terrible, 5.87 ERA. All right, let's take a look first at the expectation of Citi Field, 79 Fahrenheit, 9.8 miles per hour left to right, slightly in. Becomes more and more in as the game goes on, but stays like left to right and slightly in. 9.8 miles per hour at first, and then 8 miles per hour late. Then we'll take a look at Ballpark Pals expectation here in Rangers Mets. Citi Field plus 11% home runs, minus 13% doubles and triples, minus 1% overall runs. Then let's move over. The Dapper Cappers on Texas full game here. Mike M says Texas first 5 in full game, and considering adding the under again, full game for Mike M. Morgan Spooner, by the way, I'm going to copy and paste the card. Thank you for sharing that with us. White Sox first 5 plus a half. Cubs full game money line, and Rangers -1. So we got some love for Dane Dunning and the Rangers, fading Denny Reyes here. Let's look at the line history then for this one. This total opened up at 8. Can you believe that? It opened up at 8 yesterday at 5:48 p.m. Now we're at 9.5. We've gone up a run and a half to the over.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Expect Rangers to break out here against Raiders.
But the Rangers aren't that big of a favorite. Now, there's been a huge move towards them, though. You know, when this line opened up, the Mets were favorites. So the Rangers have gone from -101 to -150.
Huge.
49 cents of movement. My good God. Let's take a look at the cash flow then for this one. You have 89% of the tickets, 92% of the cash on the Mets. Huge move towards them. Then 78% of tickets, but just 39% cash on the under. So 22% of tickets and 61% cash on the over. Wow. Jarek White got the 8 at 9:30 last night. Jarek White, isn't that a great feeling? Beating a market move by a run and a half. I mean, that's only going to happen a couple times a year. That's a huge work. Excellent work. Mike M said it's not so much Dunning for me. It's how bad the Mets are, and now they're bringing up a pin cushion. Take it away for us here, C-Mac. Texas Rangers, New York Mets, Dunning versus Denny Reyes.
Yeah, it is. I think Reyes, he's – and this is what the Rangers might need, because this lineup has been struggling. To get the wins, though, like yesterday, those close, low scoring is big for them, because the lineup's just been really ice cold. But Reyes, perfect guy. This guy gives up home runs in bunches in the minor leagues, 2 or 3 a game. He was crazy, because I remember when he first, like years ago, 18 or 19, he had a real good year in single A, and he's kind of got shelled. Last year he did too in the minors. He went 0-7. Yeah, the move's right. It's just gone way too far here. I do like the Rangers. Their team total now is 5.5. It's past 4.5, 5.5. You know, it's right around even money. So I get it. I think the Rangers take care of business. And Dunning has been somewhat better on the road this year, where he was kind of a fade for me the last couple. If he can go out and go 5 innings in this Mets lineup, man, Mets have thrown it into the towel. So I get the move here with the Rangers.
Yeah, I'm not gonna come late to the party here.
I'm too late now, but
I'm with you. I see it now. It's always tricky when these young pitchers have horrific numbers in the minors, because you know that people are getting paid a lot of money to judge these young pitchers, and there's a ton of analytics that are backing them getting the opportunity in the show. And so I'm just going to stay off of it. But BJ liking Texas money line. Our guy Philly Eagle Flyer says, I can see the Philly Stadium from my job. Want to leave work right now and go to this game. Phillies run line and -2.5 for Philly Eagle Flyer. Okay, we're going to move on here, but that is Rangers Mets. So BJ on Texas money line and a Texas Yankees parlay. Rangers Yankees parlay. Okay, good luck to all you guys on Texas, but that's just 50 cents move. It's just far too much for me to move on late. Let's move on. 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Pittsburgh Pirates 60-73, 28-37 on the road at the Kansas City Royals, 41-93, 23-42 at home. Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. I know a lot of people also say, like there's no juice if you win and things like that, and that's valid. That's fair. The thing is that long term, if you are moving
Yes.
after a 50-cent move, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work.
No, you're not going to do this long term. It's just a fact. You can't. It's just not going to happen. And it's period.
Yeah. So, but I, I understand the no juice on a winning bet, but this is a volume sport for action, and
Yeah.
Pete always talking about the weighted coin flips, like talking about. So just long term, it's not a move that I.
The losses on those two are just huge, especially when you have big money. When you're paying 50 cents, the VIG's already 10 on a normal bet, let's just say, and you're adding 40 cents to that, and you're putting big money on that for every 100, an extra, $50. It adds up, especially if you lose.
It's well put. That's dangerous. Let's move on to Kauffman Stadium, Kansas City, Missouri. Sadly, our guy Brady Singer has arm fatigue, and he is not going to be pitching for us here. And either's Mitch Keller. So instead of that setup, we have Andre Jackson versus Angel Serpa, which is a big change. Now, I've been right about Andre Jackson. I think that we know what the Pirates have been able to do with very little money and pitching. We've talked for years about how they handle pitchers, and they do a really nice job. And we talked about Andre Jackson's upside, and he's got an enormous upside because he gets strikeouts. All through the minors, he got big strikeouts. Yeah, he couldn't, outpitch these studs that the Dodgers have coming up. Absolute studs. Now we're going to get to see Pepio today with his first start, actual start. I know he had an opener, but they just have, pitcher after pitcher, the list is so long for Dodger studs. So he couldn't get it. Andre Jackson couldn't break through there. But that was a really nice start in his last home versus Cubs. 6 innings. He allowed just 2 earned runs, didn't walk a batter. On the road, he's got 23 strikeouts and just 5 walks over 20 innings. I like him. I like Andre Jackson. And Angel Zerpa, I don't really know what to do with. His last appearance was on Saturday, August 26th. He 1 inning, got allowed a solo shot. His last start was at the A's, and he didn't look good in 3 innings, 5 earned runs. And he's a lefty. And for whatever reason, I messed up and put Pirates numbers versus righties, which is not applicable here. And I apologize for that. So I'll switch that to lefties here and figure out what that is. All right, 80 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 7.4 miles per hour in, stays between 7.4 and 6.3 miles per hour. By the way, Noli knows liking the under that Mike M was looking at in Rangers Mets. Junkie Nut says, going to the Braves Rockies game tonight. Just realized they switched Strider to tomorrow when they face the Dodgers. A little bummed I couldn't see him live, but it's for the best when we have the Dodgers next. Yeah, I agree. And have a great time, Junkie Nuts. What a fun game that will be. And yeah, so we have Darius Vines going. Yeah, it's going to be fun. There's Tease in the house. Great to see you, Tease. Okay, let's hammer this one diligently. Let's go into a ballpark pal. What was their expectation of KC today? Kauffman say minus 24% home runs, plus 13% doubles and triples, and plus 10% singles. There's going to be a lot of hits, obviously, against Jackson and Zerpa. At least the market is expecting that. Let's take a look at the line history here. We'll start with the money line. Just 2 games left after this, and then we put a bow on today's card. The Royals opening up at minus 106 are now plus 103. So we've had 9 cents of movement towards Jackson and the Pittsburgh Pirates. That makes sense to me. That makes a ton of sense to me. Then we'll move over to the total. I don't want this. It's been fun capping Jackson, and I'm starting to cheer for him, and I hate that. I always think the cappers who don't watch any of these games will do better than the cappers that watch them because we'll have biases. I'm developing one believing in this kid, Andre Jackson. This total opened up at 9, juice to the under, and there was and this didn't open until 8:46 a.m. There was an immediate move. Now, they didn't list it for, 32 minutes, but that was 14-cent move to the over at that point. Then we saw 9.5s on the board, which is where it is now. So we've had a big move to the over. This 9 that opened was minus 118 to the under. And now we're at a pick'em at 9.5. So we've had a move to the Pirates and a big move to the over. We'll go take a look at the cash for this one. We have, the game has started. We have 18% of the tickets and 66% of the cash on the Royals. Wow. Well, that stopped me in my tracks, I wonder. Then 31% of the tickets and 69% of the cash on the over. I guess that should stop me in my tracks. Wow. Okay, let's go. Zerpa has thrown 10 innings at home, 5 earned runs, 11 hits, 275 points batting average. I got to pull up the lefties, but both bullpens have been bad. Any interest for you here in this one, C-Mac, Pirates, Royals?
Yeah, and you have here on Swish like 6-7 mile-an-hour winds here coming in.
Yeah, what did I
Light.
have? Sorry, that's ballpark pile. I had for the. Yeah, exactly, but in.
Mm-hmm. This total seems high, but both these pitchers, I think, do give up some runs. It's just the lineups I don't trust these two teams. Now flip it, I get it. Jackson, to come to like 2021, he's like Dodgers so high on him, and kind of went through rookie ball single A so well, and he got hit around. I think he does have all right stuff. I just don't think the Pirates should be this number. That was a tough one. People had the Royals yesterday. They gave it up in the 9th, right? Or up 1-0. I don't know. It gets over this total. I'd like to be on the under. I just don't love it. It's like yesterday. I'd take the dog here. I'd be on the home team in the Royals, even though I don't trust Zerpa at all. And he's been hit and miss. It's kind of like he gives up 4 or 5, or he can go 4 innings and give up 1 and kind of get through at least the lineup once.
Yeah, I just want to see what the Pirates are doing versus lefties here in August. I guess all this looks like this is sharp money on the Royals. I mean, I don't see the market. The market doesn't seem to care that much that it's happening, and then the over is being hammered. I guess they're saying Andre Jackson will get hammered. Let me just quickly here. We're on OPS here. Last month, the first lefties, and Kansas City 240 with a 670 OPS. 240. Oh, why am I looking at Kansas City? I mean Pittsburgh. Jesus, sorry, doing too much at once. Pittsburgh first lefties. Oh God, 217, 635.
Yeah, even lower.
Can't trust him here. Ronnie and Briggy says the rumors that the Pirates will shut down Keller the rest of the year. He succeeded total innings in his career. They want to protect him and try to get a long-term deal in the offseason. I like him. All right, gonna have to stay off. JJ looking at Mariners -1.5 and the Phillies. Jeffrey Moore saying the Phillies about to bring the wood. I hope that is the case. Okay, so no move. I thought that I may move on the Pirates. Okay, let's talk about a move I did make, and I don't know. This could easily be a mistake. I told you that I went over quite closely this spot. 8:40 p.m. Eastern. Atlanta Braves at Colorado Rockies. Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. So they have 25-year-old Darius Vines pitching for the Atlanta Braves. 2-2 with a 2.86 ERA and 5 starts for AAA Gwinnett. He had right shoulder inflammation. So he had 2 rehab starts at the Complex League and High A. Then he reports to Gwinnett. BJ says Freeland's last start against the Braves, 4 innings, 9 hits, 7 runs, 3 walks. If you can't strike out better, he's not going to do well against the best team in baseball. Braves all day in this spot, in his opinion. It's not that I doubt that this is a Braves spot, even though I was impressed with Freeland's last start at the Orioles against a team that hits lefties. So we have Vines, 25-year-old 7th rounder, who doesn't have many innings under his belt here. Baseball America has him as the 5th highest prospect for the Braves. Fangraphs has him at 13 and MLB at 10. So 27.1 strikeout rate, 8.2 walk rate, and 44.4% ground ball rate out of Cal State Bakersfield. I think this is a pretty quick jump to the majors.
Mm-hmm.
And when I sat with this for so long, and I went over the key pieces of the Braves that get to Freeland, I legitimately thought that there's a higher chance for Darius Vines, who's been very good in AAA Gwinnett, to go into his first major league start against a team that's not dangerous offensively, 244, 718 OPS, in the thin air of Colorado and getting touched early. if we're talking about 9 outs here, I after sitting here for so long, I thought that there was a chance here, a better chance for the Rockies in the first 3 innings than the Braves. And I'm getting up 1-0 Orioles early. Let's go.
Yeah. Already up.
I bet the first 3 plus a half at plus 100. Backing a seasoned pitcher. And look, I know that the Braves destroy lefties, and they do. But you got Vines, this kid who's thrown 40 innings this year because of the shoulder inflammation, having to go into the thin air here in Colorado. So right now, I'd just like to see I'd like to have beaten the line move. Not that that's mattered at all this year, but the first 3 now plus a half is minus 110. Okay, well, 10 cents. Beat it by 10 cents. Okay, so that's my move. Look, I bet it first 3 plus a half at plus 100 on the Rockies. And, I like it. Now, the Braves bullpen has been elite. 2.32 ERA in August. The Rockies bullpen 7.71. It's been horrible. I don't want to have anything to do with a full game or anything at all. So let's move into first the weather in Colorado. 91 Fahrenheit, 7.9 miles per hour out. Stays between 7.9 and 7.3. It's very offensive. Not as offensive as we saw last month at times, but plus 32% home runs, plus 10% doubles and triples, plus 13% singles, plus 29% runs. Let's take a look at the line history then for this one. We'll start with the total. This total is at 13.5. I believe it's Morgan Spooner who's on the over in this one. 7 cents of movement to the over 13.5 here. And we'll take a look at the money line and then where the cash is and hear what our man C-Mac says about the spot. The Rockies are sitting at plus 202. They opened up plus 220. So it's a pretty big move. The Braves have gone from minus 245 to minus 224. So there's been 21 cents of movement there against the Braves. And from a total perspective, we've done that, 13.5. Sorry. Let's go over to the cash then for this one. Our second to last game on the board, 10% of the tickets and 68% of the cash on the Rockies. I know so many cappers who say you don't need to fade the Braves, you just take the opposition's team total. And I all that went through my head. Everything went through my head as I decided what to bet in this game. 56% of tickets, 46% cash on the over. And I just felt like I have an advantage on the mound. And maybe I don't.
Yeah.
And Noli Knows says a guy that predominantly uses off-speed pitches in Coors. He says he feels me. We will see. Big Mastro. Great to see you, Big Mastro. Now, there's a guy. He's just a guy who makes big boy bets, man. Big Mastro out of Windsor, Ontario. We start next Tuesday, my man. Next Tuesday. Bankroll Blitz next Tuesday. It's already 2-0 Orioles. Okay, C-Mac, take it away. Braves, Rockies, and I've moved on it with that first 3 plus a half.
Yeah, I don't mind it there because I think Vines could get hit. And this guy is a guy who walks people. And I think the Rockies could get runs. You mentioned the team total. I think that's a good look. I know it's 5.5 at even money, or you get to 2.5 first 5 with the Rockies. It might be a little bit of juice. I don't mind that. But also, I don't want to really go against the Braves. Braves yesterday, I think they get to Freeland here as well. Their team total 7.5 minus 135. Crazy.
That's nuts.
They scored 3 runs. Ozuna had a 2-run homer, but they had 15 hits. they just left them all on. They didn't need it in the end, 3-1. But man, if they get 15 hits again, it could be 10 runs. So, but I don't mind your bet quick here. Trying to see if Freeland can get a couple outs, and you get this price with the Rockies because I think Vines can get hit.
Yeah, I'll be watching it really closely. I spent a ton of time on the game, and now it's time to deal with the consequences. But the consequences could be pretty nice if the Orioles get us rolling. All right, Junkie Nut says they smashed the Rockies this year. Last night was the lowest scoring game all season for both series. Look, I get it. I get it. I don't know. Did Mike M? Did someone say no Mountcastle or Santander? I thought we went over the lineups, Mikey. I thought the fear was
they're in.
Yeah, I thought it was no.
Santana just got RBI.
Yeah, it was no McKenna, right? It was no Rutschman. And then the third guy they're missing. Okay. Let's roll on. Final game here on what the Minnesota total now 6.5 because of the strong first inning. I imagine that one's gonna eat at me. Obviously gonna eat at me. Okay, let's roll on here. The final game on today's show. Arizona Diamondbacks, 69-64, 34-32 on the road at the Los Angeles Dodgers, 82-49, 45-21 at home at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California. Brandon Pfaadt going up against Ryan Pepiot. Did that get confirmed? Let me make sure that the Pepiot. So yes, it is confirmed. So we finally get Pepiot in a start. What a beast! What a goddamn operation the Dodgers are. This is just this run here is wow. What I mean, there was chances to get in on them to win the division at time, like not a big favorite line. Pepiot this year. So we go back to Pepiot, third round pick out of Butler in 2019, and he's looked good. In 2022 at Oklahoma City, he looked spectacular. 24 years old. He went 9-1, 2.56 ERA, 1.07 WHIP. Came up into the show and looked very good then. 3-0 with a 3.47 ERA. Then this year in Oklahoma City, it was only 6 starts, because of injury in the late start to the year. But he looked great. This guy is going to be a stud. It's hard to imagine him not being a stud. But I think Brandon Pfaadt is also going to be very good. Brandon Pfaadt, I had the first 5 under with Pfaadt and Hunter Green. Pfaadt did his job, 2 earned runs over 5 1/3, but Hunter Green had the 5-run fourth. It was 1-0 after 3, and I thought I'd made a great call. That was not the case. On the road, Pfaadt's been good. 7 walks, 24 Ks. Now, he has allowed 8 home runs in 30 innings. That's too much. 204 opponent's batting average. Pepiot, 9 innings, 2 earned runs, 11 strikeouts, 1 walk in his 2 appearances. They both come out of the pen. We finally get to have him with a start. 2-0 Angels. Damn it. Detmer's going to shove. That was such a public bet. And now I feel like, I've got to go live bet it. I don't know if I'm going to. I'll have to watch that game. Diamondbacks versus Righties, 251, 726 OPS. Dodgers versus Righties, 298, 26 OPS. Diamondbacks bullpen, 5.74, 3-0 Baltimore. Wow. 5.74 ERA for the Diamondbacks bullpen since August 1st. Dodgers just playing elite baseball across the board in every way. Take it away for Michael Johnson, just live bet Philly. Take it away for us here. I know you know these teams very, very well. Diamondbacks, Dodgers, C-Mac, floor is yours.
Yeah, I think you turn that on. Maybe watch that game with the Phillies. I think you could see Detmer's pretty early. I found out he's a guy, if he's got it or not. He's just one of those guys that you can get on. But yeah, Orioles, straight machine, 3-0. Let's get to it. You talking about Brandon Pfaadt, Jimmy? I think this guy does have great stuff as well, and I think it'll be good going on. But I thought all year he's not ready for the bigs. Already had 1 start against the Dodgers at home. He gave up 4. His problem too, he gives up the long ball, and that's what the Dodgers do best. And yesterday was crazy with Kershaw, that number in the run line plus 120, right around there. And we even with Pepiot here, which I don't love, I got to take the Dodgers again on the run line and give me the over just in case he gets hit a little bit. But the D-backs haven't really been swinging the bats at all. But I think he can get over this number. So Dodgers on the run line and the over.
Let's lock
right back at it. And I had the D-backs. I got that kind of a little bit lucky. Dodgers scored 6 or 7, but I got that first 5 in the first one with Gallen 4-3. It was a little bit lucky. D-backs first 5 in the first game.
Well, let's lock this in for you right now. A lot of scoring early in games we wanted scoring in. But
by the way, Dodgers' best record maybe ever. They win here today. Greatest, August in the history.
What a ball club.
And they've been over 750. I saw something 4 or 5 straight years in the month of August. Winning percentage over 750.
Oh, it's uncanny. I mean, it's just what?
Yeah, it's all great, Jimmy, until the playoffs. It's a lot of good good stats and shit.
But this handling all these injuries, I mean, it's just
They've been great.
fuck. It's just so
They
impressive.
look. How about Gonsolin? This guy. I knew his arm was. He was getting hit hard to find out. He's got the tear.
Yeah, that's rearing its ugly head, but they keep bringing up these fucking studs, man. Okay, so the -1.5 plus 118 at Pinnacle, and the over as well. Let's pull up the total for the full game over for Fought versus Pepio. We have 9.5, and this is now at plus money.
Yeah, I hope Bueller's coming. We'll see.
9.5 at plus 102. Let's just to see this. Let's just go quickly into just see what they're offering for the 9 here. Just at least due diligence. Over 9's -124. Over 9.5 is plus 102. Which one do you want?
I'm gonna wait on it. I'm gonna wait. I want to see lineups.
Okay.
So I'll wait on that over. Yeah, just
the
a run
line lock in.
But I think I'll be on it. I got to look at a couple more things.
Jay Peasy has moved on a live bet with the Phillies. For those of you looking at it right now, that is at just plus 115. I think one thing I've been 4-0 Orioles. One thing I've been doing that's been working is, and I talked a little bit about it. I did it yesterday with the Orioles perfectly when there's 2 runners on for the White Sox with no out and their 8th and 9th batters coming up. But it's picking those spots when the opposition has runners on the base, and then live betting the other side. If you trust the pitching. Coulomb came on, was just spectacular. Okay. There you go. That is our baseball breakdown today, Wednesday, August 30th. Let's review all action across the board. Viper and Bees on the Phillies -1, Baltimore -1.5, and the Blue Jays -1.5. Dabby Cab gave us the Rangers team total over 4.5, and he's leaning on the Rays team total over 3.5. Tone Miggins also gave us the Eagles first half team total over. A little look for NFL action next week. Brandon Cummings looking at Altuve and Benintendi hit parlay. Tone Miggins gave us a parlay with the Phillies money line, Orioles money line, St. Louis team total for 7 over 3.5. I'm on the Phillies -1. Makes me very uncomfortable. Orioles -1, of course, I'm on like I am every day. And then the unders in that Cleveland-Minnesota game, I don't know why I was so tentative. That total's now at 6.5, and looks like you guys nailed it. C-Max on the full game under 8. Lamont Williams, max bet the full game under 8. C-Max on the Guardians, first 5 plus 140. And Mike M's pimp slap play today is the first 5 under 4.5. Padres, Cardinals, we stayed off. BJ is on the Yankees, Braves moneyline parlay. Londo's big booty Latina play today over 7 in Milwaukee, Chicago. Justin McElvey's on the Brewers moneyline, and I stayed off, even though I was very interested. I got it. I think I have to move on the Nats first 5 here. I'm going to spend a little bit more time on it, but I just feel like the implied probability is where I want it to be. Razor Sharp Picks gave us his entire Parks card, which is so cool of him. I'm going to pop it in the chat, and thank you, Razor, for sharing. I know how much work that takes, and he just gives us all of his action. There it is right there. There's Dabby confirming what I just mentioned. Rangers team total over 4.5, and he's very close to moving on that team total over 3.5. Ron Crawford, spreadsheet play today, San Francisco -1. I'm on the unders in that one. First 5 under 4 and full game under 8. I destroyed the market moves, but we'll have to see if that helps at all. I don't know. Joey Marinaccio, Justin McElvey, thank you guys so much for the kind words. Thank you guys. But this is such a team. We are such a team. It's we see Mac guy on camera, but you guys in the chat, it's just we do this as a group. And it's thank you for everything that you guys put in. Junkie Nuts, thank you for the kind words. Have a great time at the ball game tonight. C-Max on the Red Sox, first 5 at plus 115. Londo has 3 plays. Orioles run line, over 13.5 in Atlanta, Colorado, and over 7 in Milwaukee, Chicago. Thank you, Alfred. Thank you, Tori. A's, Mariners, we stayed off, as we did with Yankees, Tigers. Wine Time moved on 2 spots. The LA Philly over 9, which looks glorious. And he's also on the Milwaukee, Chicago under 7. Noli has said that there's a dead under in Tampa, Miami, and I'm very interested in moving on. Eflin got lit up by the Marlins in his last start. I think it's a bounce-back opportunity for him. So BJ also added a big bet on Texas money line and the parlay with Rangers Braves. Pirates Royals, we stayed off. I'm on the Rockies first 3 plus a half at even money. C-Max on the Dodgers minus 1.5 at plus 118. So C-Mac is also going to be on Balking Dead today for his player props, and he's magic with them. So please support the Balking Dead and our man Sharpie. That's at 3:10 p.m. Eastern. And C-Mac, if there's anything else you want on your record for us here, just tag me on the tweet, and it can be, the stuff that you have with your player props. All is valid because we talked about each and every game.
I will.
Sweet.
You got to add the Nats first 5.
Oh, you did move on it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's dope. Okay, that's a line shop for you. I would like to join you. On this one. Let's take a look at the first 5 for C-Mac. Tons of plus money spots all over your card, C-Mac. So here we go. The first 5 here for the Nationals. See a plus 185 at Will Hill. They're not giving me pinnacles, but I can pull it up right here. So first 5, let's move over here. First half. And the first 5 for you with the Nationals. Oh, wow. That's plus 171 there. That's a really good sign. I love when Pinnacle has, that's 14 cents different than Will Hill, and I think that's a great sign. I'm going to move on this with you. I'm not sure if I'm going to be a puss and take the plus a half. Puss safe, I should say. Let's grab that for you. Nats plus 185. First 5 Nats.
What's the half? Jam 115 or something?
Well, Pinnacle's not going to give us the best one just because we know that they've only got Nats at plus 171.
Plus 128 here on Bet Online.
Oh, I bet you that'll be better. Let's just see what it is here, but I bet you that. Yeah, because it's plus 115 here at Pinnacle. What do you want to do?
Oh, no, then I was saying you want to.
Oh, I'm very.
Yeah,
I still have cash in both the Pinnacle and Bet Online accounts. Not as much as I would like, but I still have some cash in them. And Nate Dogg on Toronto money line, and he's tying that with Bassett over strikeouts. Billy Freddie saying that first 5 is at plus 184 at Bookmaker. There we go. Thank you guys so much in the chat. CMAC does a great job at shouting all you guys out. So I've got to produce and close the show here because our guy Jose is in Tennessee. So I will let CMAC put a bow on this show. What I will say here, though, is please be a part of our poker night. It would mean so much to us if you guys could sign up. Our Bet Online poker night here. It starts at 8 p.m. It's a private poker night, attorney, so you need the password. It's Pub Sports NFL. The P and the S of Pub Sports is capitalized and NFL is capitalized. It's $25 buy-in, so the winner will get at least $500. But we also give out $109 Sunday Showdown tickets from Bet Online. Bet Online gives that out, and thank you to them for doing that. It's very cool. 3 tickets to their Sunday Showdown, $109 tickets. And then the winner gets into our Cappers contest for free. There is a $50 bounty on the head of Jeff Slaughter and a $25 bounty on the head of myself. And it means so much. So please support that. And truly, truly thank you guys. Leonard Porsche Jr. says Detmers is losing it. Take the Phillies while you can. I guess I was a little late on that one. Wow, 4-2. Wow, someone said that. 4-2 Orioles White Sox. Wow. That game looks wow, and we have loaded bases with 1 out in Philly. It's too late. It's already minus 135. Well, I'm so happy JPG bet this live, and you nailed it, C-Mac. Just watch them because look at that. Wow. But it is what it is. C-Mac, my man, excellent job today. Kill it on Balking Dead, and also great job with you and Bobano yesterday on Say Hey Plays of the Day. Bobano, put a bow on this, my man. Oh, sorry, C-Mac. Sorry, just said Bobano.
Hey, I was gonna say
C-Mac, put a bow on this, my man.
Yeah, shout out to the chat. As you said, join the poker tournament tonight. $25. It's a good time. Got to do it. There's not enough people signed up. Hopefully we get at least 60. Hopefully we'll have more. And this is our last one. I mean, hope maybe going forward, like you mentioned, Jimmy, we can start having some, like a big one on a weekend, something like that. I think would be great. Maybe October, November, December, maybe once a month. I think could pull great numbers. So something, we got to all talk about. Jimmy, I'm sure we'll get into it. But Nasty Nate, my guy, Reclaim James, Junkie Nuts, Leonard Porsche, Reclaim James. I already said that. Damon Forbes, Joey, Andre. There's Cab, Billy Friedrich, Jeffrey Moore, 1777 memorabilia. Justin McAvee, as always, in here. My dude, Rance, Andrew G, Mike M, Pimp Slap. Shout out to Mike M. What's going on, Jim?
It's a beautiful single. Now 2-1 with 1 out. All of you guys who took live. Nasty Nate took the first 5 plus half. All you guys, I'm so happy for you. I'm a little pissed off that I didn't join you immediately, just blindly, but let's fucking go.
Let's go. Peasy, Noli, everyone. I hit you all. I'm sure Jimmy did. Appreciate you. Best chat, period, here at Pub Sports Radio. We're out of here. I'll see you on the Walking Dead in just an hour and a half, but we're out of here. We be pubbing! Wet check, baby.